Good evening once again, and welcome to episode 135 for Schnozcast on Saturday. I don't even know what the hell date it is.
It's August 7th.
August 7th, 2021. This is Bob. I'm joined as always by Nick Bader, Cory Slesky, and Todd Dillon. We got a number of things to get through tonight, so let's get started. Bring that all the way down. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us, fellas. Glad you could make it to my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a lot of work for nothing now.
Don't say for nothing.
Well, not for nothing.
It's never for nothing.
Yeah.
It's always for something. It's got to be something.
All four of us are giving up 1 day per weekend for the last couple of years to do this. So, it's not for nothing. We'll see what happens. Maybe at the end of it, someone will say, yeah, that was for nothing.
Some might.
Yeah. All right. So if you are new to the podcast, welcome. If you want to find us on High Def Audio out on social media, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, or wherever you can get a podcast. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram at Schnozcast, Facebook at Schnozcast, and YouTube at Schnozcast. You can also email us with your existential questions at schnozcast@gmail.com, or you can call or text us at any time as long as Nick picks up the phone at 618-SHOCKER. And we are no longer sponsored by our previous sponsor. So if you're looking to sponsor a podcast, reach out to us at 618-SHOCKER. We've got openings.
And it's not because we didn't do a fantastic job. We did. It's extenuating circumstances on his end.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it at that.
Dude.
I know.
All right. Do we just keep going? What do you want to do?
Yeah, we have to. The show must go on.
What happened?
YouTube just dropped. We just got a text from Todd saying YouTube dropped. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Again?
Hold on.
Yeah, it's frozen. It went to an old episode, and now it's back on. Just the main.
It's showing that I'm still recording and live.
I haven't gotten dropped yet.
Yeah, I think we're still good, Todd. I don't know.
All right. I'm sorry.
Are you recording the video to put up like
Yeah,
I said posthumously, but
we'll have that. So we're gonna have to go with that.
I knew that's where you're going, but I didn't know why.
now this might be a good test for can we stream a pre-recorded video?
Posthumously?
I really wanted to say, but I had to stop myself. All right, that's housekeeping out of the way for this episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got a couple of things to get to today, and go ahead, Cory.
Hang on. To back up to housekeeping, should we explain why we're sitting in your kitchen?
I can do it again.
We have not done.
I could do it again. I feel like I've already done it. Yeah, you're right. This is the first time for this. So if you haven't watched the podcast in the last year and a half, you probably don't recognize the setting, but this is my kitchen. This is where we started. This is where the shittiest of the audio was recorded. And if you're interested, you can go back to episodes 2 through 28, maybe 30.
Did we do that many up here?
Yeah, because when I did the teaser of 33, I had said,
you just put out today.
Yeah, okay. I had said something about my house. This is my house or something. So we must have just started going over there.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
We've done probably 100 episodes from your basement. Whew. Don't you think?
Yeah, it all just came screaming back to me.
There's a lot of chew spit under the bridge.
Yeah.
Todd, I don't know if you saw, but as soon as Nick sat down, he's like, Cory was like repositioning his chew spit cup. And he's like, oh, yeah, see how that works? You're going to find that like a couple hours from now or a couple of days from now, just sitting around somewhere on the shelf.
As soon as he sat down, there's that sense of ownership when it's your place. And Bob immediately was like, okay, that's going to fall on the floor. You need to put that somewhere else. I'm like, see?
No, I was worried about him spilling it on either his or my laptop. So like, well, yeah, just move it over here a little bit. But so we haven't been over here in so long. It's literally like a Rube Goldberg machine trap to get from seat to seat.
I don't know what that means.
Mousetrap. The game. Never played. You never played Mousetrap?
I saw it. I never played it.
It wasn't that great.
Like with your nose pressed up against the window of a department store. You saw it?
I passed by in the stores.
Yeah.
Never got to play it though.
No, I think it was.
It's sports. I don't
I think it was.
I don't play sports.
No, I think it was losing its luster by the time I was born.
Really?
Yeah. Wasn't that great a game?
Yeah, because by the time I would have
But
been
you
like,
played it, Todd, right?
I did.
You got to determine that it wasn't great a game. Nick has never played it.
Yeah, he was right to
Bit
not
of a
do it.
Okay.
Would have been like 2 hours of wasted time.
I'm gonna lose. Yeah. So, what was your favorite game growing up? I know we already covered this in a prep, but I can't remember what it was.
favorite game, we played Monopoly, Sorry, Uno, things like that.
Okay, more board games than like Perfection or.
Yeah, we didn't do that. The Game of Life. We played the Game of Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's got a little spinny thing, right?
There was actually.
Got a little one of those
It's
doodads.
not quite a full board game, but it's
the thing.
Remember, if you remember with John Locke, there was quite a long scene of him demonstrating the mousetrap game in Lost.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did see that episode.
Are you talking about the black and white stones game?
No. That's Baka, whatever the heck that was called.
I think it's Go.
No.
Backgammon?
No.
No.
I know. It's
one of the-
Othello.
And that's not what he called it. It was one of the oldest games known to man.
I think that's Go.
Backgammon?
But
Backgammon,
no, it's not backgammon.
No.
It was
Yeah.
called like Baccarat or something.
I think it's
Oh,
gone by
Baccarat.
many names.
Yeah, maybe
Yes.
that was. Yeah.
Yeah. Baccarat.
Yeah, that's it.
Baccarat around the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know when the podcast went down the shitter?
Well,
Baccarat. That's when. All right. So listen, fellas. There was. I was trying to look and see what we're going to talk about tonight, and because Todd was going to be on. So Todd is coming into just as a teaser for those who are listening. This is the 7th of August, so another 3 weeks, and Todd's going to make his way back to the Metro Detroit area, which means we're going to get a chance to sit in with him on a couple of podcasts face to face, which we were super looking forward to. It's been a long time since he's been back. I want to say the last time you were on the podcast was in my kitchen.
Yes.
Right?
yeah, it was. Mhm.
Yes.
So that means it's been 100 episodes since you've been here. I think you were sitting right here, right next to Brett Engel,
Yep.
which is probably the greatest night of your life.
Wow. His life.
Yeah, because we had to literally stop you guys because it was like the Alma class reunion, and it was story, albeit very funny stories. We were pushing like
Thanks, man.
3.5 hours, and we're like, we
Yeah.
got to stop. And Todd's like, stop? What do you mean stop? We're
just
going to
getting
go
started.
all night. We're going to go all night. I'm like, no, that's not how this goes.
So back then we had no structure at all. We were just like, hey, this is the Schnozcast. Hey, man, so remember that time you were blah, 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 blah? And yeah, go ahead.
Hate to cut all you guys off, but it was backgammon.
That's not
On
what he
Lost?
said. That's not what he said in Lost.
Yes,
it
it
was like Baccarat, or it was some weird
Backgammon.
I named them both.
thing. Yeah, that's true.
Well, if you looked it up, I'll give it to you, Cory.
That's
I'm
every
not
set
sure
of
it's up
same
to me,
backgammon.
but if it was, I'd give it to you.
Yep. Sorry,
I'm not that concerned with it. So
I am.
He this is the only time I can say this, but he is the person here who has most recently watched Lost. So
I watched it like 4 times.
not as recently as he has.
Yeah, actually, because I was watching it at the same time.
You were?
You were watching at the same time.
Yes, I was. I'm still watching it.
Oh, you were in the middle of a rewatch when you signed
Yeah,
it to him?
yep.
And that must be why.
That's
like,
why I re-signed it. Yeah.
Did you did you try to time it so that you're watching the same episodes that you thought he
No,
was
God,
watching?
no. I did. First of all, I didn't think he was watching what he was watching.
Oh, you
so-
didn't expect him to watch it all.
No.
You thought you'd show up and go like, no, I didn't watch anything.
I got 15 minutes into it. Fuck this.
Little did you know he
I
watched
showed
like
you
3
wrong.
seasons.
Yes, I still don't understand that lack of logic, but
I don't either, but you gotta
It works.
admire. I think I'm quoting Todd here, but you gotta admire the balls to watch 3 seasons just out of spite.
Yeah.
yeah.
Todd, are you muted a little bit on your end? I don't know why you seem
No,
quieter.
I'm listening.
Oh, that's
Am I not allowed to listen?
no. You're no.
I
Absolutely.
mean, I'll turn this bitch up if you want me to.
No, you're good.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're good. Hey, I was watching a little bit of The Simpsons the other day, and it reminded me of this word I legitimately laughed so hard when I saw it I had to bookmark it. The word is called drunkening.
Drunkening.
Ooh, you all right?
I think. Hang on.
Oh,
In Oregon.
Round 2, okay. A time in which one is in the process of becoming inebriated.
I think I'd like.
So
to
when
use
you
that
send me
more
a
often.
text and you're like, "Oh, 3 nicks tonight," I should be like, "Yep," and then I tell Jack like, "Hey, I'm gonna need a ride at about 8:30 to get to my drunkening." That's it.
a ride to get to your drunk. Oh, in the process of
Yes, yeah. The drunkening must begin at 8:30.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know how you know when you have a problem? when you refer to
You're seeking out
the
new
getting
words.
drunk.
I think that's yes, it is simultaneously a drinking problem, but a grammar win.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
If nothing else.
Yeah,
If nothing else.
and if you can still remember that word at the end of the drunkening, then I think it's a home run all around.
Absolutely.
I thought I put that in airplane mode, but I did put it in airplane mode. How am I still getting text messages?
It's an emergency.
Well, because you
Dude,
can get
your
text.
your house
to-
and your Wi-Fi. I
Your
don't know.
Wi-Fi's still on.
But this isn't the Wi-Fi. This is. I'm literally gonna have to take it off Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't know.
If I put it in airplane mode,
I don't
shouldn't
know.
be getting text.
No,
at
you
all.
shouldn't. So I don't know what happens in your house that.
I can
You're
get
getting-
texts and receive phones in airplane mode as long as I'm connected to the Wi-Fi.
You can receive
All right.
phones, Todd.
All right. I can't
If you
receive
phone
phones.
calls.
If you ship him a phone, he'll
I can't
still get
receive
it.
phones anymore. It's now disconnected from the
phone.
Wi-Fi. So,
You don't want to receive any phones while we're on podcast.
but regardless, so back to drunkening. It reminded me, Todd, of the, and I can't recall. Guys, stop me, and we can move on if I already have. But
All right, let's stop and move on.
okay, so booze news.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Have I talked about Todd's corporate takeover with his made up words back in the day?
Yes.
Back when we were working together.
We did. We talked.
Yeah,
about
we did
that.
discuss that.
Spam. It's
Correct.
Spam.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That was one of the first stories that Todd talked about when he was on the podcast.
Did you give Danielle a kiss before you came here? Because you got some sparkles on your nose.
Do I?
Yep.
He was at a wedding yesterday.
Either
I was
that or
at
it was
a
a chapeau.
Yesterday. You're at a
No.
wedding.
Funny story. My aunt did have a sparkly dress on, and she was by the end of the day.
And I buried my face so deep in that dress.
Oh my god! The crotch of that dress.
Everyone within 5 feet of her was covered in glitter, and she was like, she lifted up her arm at one point. She looked like the Silver Surfer. It was just
From the Kirby Silver Surfer.
glitter everywhere.
So you didn't shower today?
I did. Glitter doesn't come off that easy, buddy.
I know.
That special glitter scrubby that he uses in the shower all the time.
Clearly, you've never been to the Vert. You get this glitter on you for 2-3 days.
Exactly. you just burn those clothes. Those clothes are done.
Yeah.
Usually not from your relatives, though.
Hey, relatives got to work too. Chapeau versus an equal opportunity employer.
I was wondering how Todd was going to justify that.
Our family's close. What can I say?
Yes.
Who hasn't seen their cousin at the titty bar?
Right. Thank you, Todd. Jesus. These guys.
That went a bit of a different direction than I thought it would. All right, Cory, we're going to do a little booze news.
It's time for booze news.
So in the interest of the dog lovers on the podcast, you know who you are, and those listening, hopefully your sisters. From Wired Magazine, how a $700 million startup plans to help dogs live longer.
I think
I'm distracted because
I think your dog might not be living too long after Nick steps on him.
watching Nick try to. Now that is a Rube Goldberg mousetrap route, my friend. Dude, I could have passed it to you. Is that why you got up?
He's put it in the freezer.
Okay. Phew. All right, so booze news. The world's oldest dog was a 30-year-old Australian cattle dog named Bluey. But for most dogs, the average lifespan is just 10 to 15 years, depending upon the breed. And Embark Veterinary, a Boston-based genetic startup valued at $700 million.
Almost.
Oh, my God.
That was a great shot right into the camera.
Hats off to you, buddy, for
I
not
love
kicking my
dogs.
dog right in the face to get him to move.
I love dogs.
Embark Veterinary, a Boston-based genetic startup now valued at $700 million, wants to change that. They have recently raised $75 million to use DNA testing to avoid preventable illnesses and increase dog lifespans by 3 years. By the time they get to by 2030 is when they plan to hit this goal. So, they partnered with Blue Apron founders and a geneticist named Dr. Spencer Wells a few years ago. And basically, how they work is you buy. If you're a customer, you buy a breed ID kit starting at $130, You swab your dog's cheek, and then you send it into them, and they test the dog's DNA for up to 350 breeds, including wolves, coyotes, and dingoes.
Oh, thank God.
I mean, wouldn't you want to know? If my dog was related to a coyote, I'd want to know that.
Mm-hmm.
And a dingo,
isn't he?
especially if I was going to have a baby, I'd want to know that too.
That your baby was...
Well, the dingo might eat it.
They might eat your baby.
Wasn't
Oh, I thought you were
Tarzan
talking about
raised
your
by
actual baby
dingoes?
being...
I want to test my baby to make sure the dingo's okay living in the same house.
Right now, Lori's twitching. She doesn't know why.
Test your dingoes, everyone.
Somewhere Bob's crying out for baby, and I'm not there to do anything about it.
Quick, get that DNA test.
Got his phone's in airplane mode.
The advanced kit also tests for 200 plus health issues and physical traits. And in 2 to 4 weeks, you get back a full report, including any dog relatives in their database. So it's like 23andMe for dogs. So owners can use this info to learn about where their dog came from and make healthy choices for their pet. Although experts and Embark themselves say that DNA testing isn't a substitute for taking your dog to the vet. But they spent years studying village dogs, which are dogs that live outside and they breed freely all over the world, to better understand the history and traits of domestic dogs. For example, a high genetic diversity among village dogs in Central Asia showed that they descended from the OG domesticated dogs, and out of that research was where they got their idea, and their testing includes DNA from village dogs too.
Those goddamn village dogs.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad idea.
Go on.
Well, so if you actually got this DNA test for your pet, and they're like, oh, your dog is predisposed to this condition where he dies in 2 years, would you want to, and they're like 3 months old, you're going to be all glum every day because you know your dog's going to die in 2 years.
Potentially. But
or if you get a dog, and again, as was the case with Jake, the dog that we had, you get a dog and it says it has some sort, it has a high malady, then you put the dog down. Then I don't like it.
Bob, your thoughts?
Don't
preemptively put your dog down.
I feel like there's a saying that goes along with this, like to be informed is to be
Informed?
Wisdomous.
Yeah, information is power.
I'm with you. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I got a dog. A guy thought he had a bum dog. He's going to put it down at 12 weeks. The vet said, "Yep, based on what we see, he could die any day."
Mm-hmm.
And he lived 3 years. Again, and we so, had a great life.
So what Todd's saying is ignorance is bliss.
Sometimes
That's the opposite of what I think the story was about, but
That's
okay.
completely wrong direction.
Right. And so
Yeah,
I
if
didn't
that's
quote
what
the
you took
story.
from
I
that
said
story.
Todd said, yeah, Todd's mentality on it is ignorance is bliss. Why would you want to know?
Yeah. No, I get that.
Okay.
Not sure I agree, but
Yeah.
to each his own.
it's fair. To each his own. I'm with you. I'm just saying. I wouldn't want. At the end of the day, you take your dog to the vet. I wouldn't put a price tag if I knew that there is this malady. As long as that dog's quality of life was good, I'm like, enjoy the day. None of tomorrow's promised to none of us. So my take is, it's okay. I mean, again, it'd be cool to see some of the breed stuff, but I'll stop kicking this horse.
No, it's fine. And you've gone through some recent, loss
Yes.
with right in the canine arena.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from. Sometimes that can be painful, but if you thought that there was a chance that the dogs that you have now could benefit from this, or that they might live longer than they might normally would.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% right. Yeah, exactly. That's the flip side of this. I guess. Yeah, I would buy into that. If I knew that I could feed my dog something different that would actually beat the system, or at least give them their best opportunity, then yeah, that is good. That is better than ignorance is bliss. So I've come down firmly in the middle. I've waffled.
Excellent. That's the best I can hope for.
Perfect. Bob's right. That's all we need to hear.
Todd, now that you've waffled, do you ever swaffle?
I haven't done it yet, but if you want to, you can show me when I come to town.
Excellent. That's
I would
exactly
love
what
to
I was.
see you two swaffle.
That's what I was hoping for, buddy. Right across those beautiful eyes of yours.
I want to move on very, very quickly from this to 90-second sports.
And we see him heading in that direction. The 20. He's going for 40. And it's 90 seconds forward.
90 Second Sports brought to you by Todd Dillon in Seattle, Washington, the home of very, very quick sports updates. Timed by Nick Bader.
Yes, sir. Mr. Dillon, your 90-second sports starts now, sir.
Well, I don't want to waste any time this week, but I was hoping you weren't going to show up, Nick, because it would have been 90-minute sports today. But there's been so much stuff going on in the Olympics. I can't jump off the Olympics. Literally, I want to get back to horse racing, but the Olympics has been fantastic. If you haven't heard of a woman named Sifan Hassan from the Netherlands, she is one of the greatest runners of all time. She has been amazing. She ran the 5,000-meter run, fell down in her qualifying heat. And she likes to run in the back. So she fell down and then dropped like 20 yards behind every other competitor, and then got up, gutted it out, and actually won her qualifying heat after falling down. Then she freaking goes and runs the final and crushes the field. This is a woman not from Kenya or any of the countries that you think of when you think of distance running, Ethiopia, the African nations. This is a woman from the Netherlands, skinny as a rail, working the field. Then she runs the 1,500 meter, finishes third, gets her bronze. But she's doing that because normally these distance runners run one race when they run these. Now I see she's in the 10,000 meter run. She wins the 10,000 meter women's gold medal. This lady is the GOAT. She's not an Ethiopian. And then I want to know everything about her because I was so amazed. Then I start watching karate today, Kumite.
And that was 90 Second Sports.
Damn it.
That's the sound of the end of that segment.
That's the sound of victory.
Kumite.
What is Kumite?
Karate.
No. What is Kumite? I know what karate is.
That is Kumite.
I don't feel like you're not understanding my question.
Kumite is equal to karate.
It's what Jim Henson called Kermit.
It's
in
even
Japanese.
Steven. It's karate.
It's another name for karate, is what you're saying?
Yes, it's a specific style of karate.
Karate is not here or here. It's
Yes.
here.
It's here.
And
It's
here.
karate.
And here.
I
It's
see.
with all of us.
I see. I'm so glad
And-
I asked.
Tagrid Hamagi got robbed.
I'm sorry, sir. Your segment's over.
I was really pulling for you to get that in there.
I'm not going to lie. I did think about that. I'm like, well, if Nick's not going to be here when we do 90 Second Sports, it is going to turn into
90
30-minute
minutes, baby.
sports.
Oh, yeah, at least 30.
I'm so brainwashed into just 90 seconds, it didn't even occur to me.
As a matter of fact, I think Nick probably just realized he's like, oh, man, I need to hurry up and get there because
Is that why
it's going to be a sports
You can
podcast
feel
before
it.
we know it.
Exactly. Dude, have you seen the Olympics?
Didn't even cross my mind, but
He's at the party going, it has been a pleasure, but I need to get out of here.
I need to go.
it's like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland.
Sure.
I
can't
thought you
argue
guys
that.
would have seen it or
No, I've
maybe
never
read
seen
the
it.
book or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's been years.
Oh, okay.
Something
The
about
rabbit.
a
Late.
rabbit.
Late for an important date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the rabbit in that scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I got it.
Well played. Well played.
Lord.
All right. Did you? I feel like so we haven't done a shot yet on the show.
No.
We probably should. Given the the number of moves you had to make to get to the first, you want me to get it?
Sure.
All right.
That'd be great.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. So what I did want to touch on was I've tasked Mr. Rankin with hey, we've talked about some trials and tribulations with releasing some audiograms for the podcast. Audiograms, if you're not familiar, are the little sound snippets that we put out on Instagram and Facebook to give people kind of a teaser into our show if maybe they've never listened. And it's really difficult on the app that I have because it's on the phone and the entire 2-hour podcast is probably like 3 inches long. So big fat fingers trying to move that back and forth to find perhaps some funny content just doesn't work. So Bob had the great idea of, hey, yeah, while I'm editing the podcast, I have to listen to it again anyhow. And I said, oh, that'd be awesome. So could you just, if you hear like a noteworthy moment, upload it or send it to me so I don't have to do all this digging and searching, and it makes my job a little bit easier. Oh, yeah, no problem. So, yeah, this week he's like, oh, I uploaded like 4 new audio files. And I'm like, sweet. So I went in there, and I'm listening, and one's like Bob's like, I had to watch such and such, and it was a great movie, and had this in it, and it was pretty good. I really liked the middle of it, and like that was the end.
No, it isn't.
That was the whole thing. No one laughed. There was no laughter in it whatsoever. And I'm like,
first
what
of all,
is
this is utter horseshit. Either you didn't listen to the whole thing, or you listened to some other track. Because
no,
if there's no laughter, there's no fucking way I would put it up there.
Bob's like, this just highlights my serious side.
There were a couple like that.
I'll pepper a couple of these in there. He'll pick one of them.
And I did find that most of them were Bob predominantly talking.
Of course.
So I'm like, either he's like,
self-promoting within self-promoting.
Yeah, when Nick's picking this stuff, I notice he picks a lot of stuff that Cory and he says, I'm going to give him a chance to pick something that I've done that's pretty funny, So I thought either he did that or he was like,
I never thought I was going to get to use this greatest highlights reel.
Yeah, it was either that or, you know what? I'm already fucking re-listening to this podcast. These guys don't re-listen to it. It's a pain in the ass. I'm going to pick the worst clips I can find, and he'll never ask me for a clip again.
I feel like that's where we are now. I mean, there's no point wasting more time doing that shit anymore.
But I know Bob's
my job just got easier.
Bob's a secret mastermind, so I know behind the scenes he's like, never ask me again. Kind of like, oh, you do the dishes the best. I'm just going to break them. I don't know.
Bob, you sent me the intro and the break music.
I'll listen to him later. I was just sitting there and I'm like listening.
No, he's going to listen to him later.
Yeah. I'm like,
and we'll see who's right.
I'm like, what? What is this? Like, they weren't bad. They weren't like horrible moments. It were just, I was waiting for the roar of like everyone to laugh about something and I just couldn't find it.
Now, playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Nick could also be listening to that and be like, well, it's not mine, so I don't like it.
What are the odds of that?
I was very conscious.
I don't know.
I was very aware of not doing that because I'm like, I want to try and pepper all of us together. And I actually am like most people. I don't like hearing my own voice.
Wait, what?
I don't like hearing my own voice.
No, I heard you.
Yeah.
I wasn't believing you.
I can understand why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
And most people would probably side with you. But I never listened to my voice and I'm like, oh, that sounds great. I'm like, okay, just let's.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyhow, moving on.
But hold on. Didn't you, first of all, let me do a little sugar with this salt. First of all, knocked it out of the park for 2 weeks in a row. Last week was the 70s, uber spectacular artwork. And then this week was the Sgt. Pepper's tribute.
Correct.
Which I thought was great. Todd, your thoughts on the Sgt. Pepper?
Thank you for bringing it up. I thought it was amazing. It made me smile.
Well, thanks, buddy. I don't know how Jack got in there, but
yeah, that's the only disturbing thing about that. I haven't shown that to Jack yet, but tonight seems like it's going to be the right time to do that, especially if he gets on the podcast. So that's the sugar. Like, well done. 2 weeks in a row. Like,
on with it, ranking
again. Like, I feel like the audio content isn't matching up to the quality of the teaser for the show that you're advertising for. That being said, Didn't you just also release like a greatest hits, like Back to the Vault from 100 episodes ago
on Instagram? Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, because I didn't want to
use
your
files. Who was
files.
the predominant voice on that clip?
It was Cory and you and me.
I don't know.
Hold on, Cory, you and Cory.
Yeah.
First of all, it's making fun of me. You guys are ripping into me, so it's not flattering for me.
It's busting balls. I mean, I think
right. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I could have cut that out and just ended it where it was. It behooved me to end it, but I'm like, no. This is what normally happens. And
Right.
you guys were ripping into me. And that's where you had said about how disturbing it was that I brought up my stomach and I wasn't washing in the shower. And
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm like, I didn't want that out there, but I'm like, it was funny. So I put it out there.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Yeah,
Well,
that was
well played.
But it was Cory's story that he was telling. He
Yeah.
was telling the story about people that grab their stomach when they laugh. And he's like, yeah,
Never seen anybody grab their stomach.
he's like
It's got to be a long, long time.
33.
33.
33.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And Cory
Back in
goes,
2014.
we were talking about something that happened at work, and he's like, that's one of our coworkers just grabbed his stomach and and just really started laughing. And that was the first time like I've actually seen someone grab their stomach, not like a cartoon, when they're laughing. And I thought to myself, like, I don't think I've ever done that before. But I was like, I know I haven't done that. And Cory's like, I've never grabbed my stomach when I've laughed. Bob's like, I grab other people's stomachs when I laugh. and that's when I said, I don't even like touching my own stomach. And
He said I've
You
washed
said-
my own stomach for years or something.
I said something like, that's why in the shower, I don't wash my, I don't like to wash my stomach. You're like, wait, hold on. You're not, this is taking a weird turn. You don't wash your stomach?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't like to. I'm like,
I forced myself to
Yeah.
do it, but
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you don't have to listen to it now. We've just reenacted the entire thing for you.
Yep. But I'm going to keep that artwork in the vault or in the bank. So
You
we
should
can pull back
That'll be
some
the single artwork that you use for all the vault stuff, right? Like, so you don't have to redo
for
it.
the old. Yeah, if it's like older than 6 months, then yeah, we'll do something like
Did you overlay like the name of the episode or anything on it?
I
or
did
just-
not.
Okay, so real easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing you have to make. Just have to get the file from me.
Yep.
Once I calm down and start,
We'll get you there.
Okay. Todd, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking a little Rogue Brewing Newport Haze Hazy Pale Ale. And for my shot, I'll be going back to my Crown Apple.
You got to be done with that bottle by now, or did you buy another one?
It's getting close.
Okay. But is that your running favorite? Like, you absolutely plan to buy another bottle of that?
I absolutely will. Although I like the Jim Beam apple as well.
Awesome. Well, pour yourself one to do with us. Sorry. I know you guys are waiting.
Cheers.
And I started talking.
No worries.
Cheers.
Machu Picchu.
wow.
That's good
Stop
stuff.
that over there.
Yeah.
Running out of real estate here.
So I was attempting to get here very quickly. Once I realized what time it was, theoretically. I got basically the long and the short of it. It was a birthday party, and I got out there, and I thought it was going to be more family oriented, and it was.
Go ahead. Tell us
Yeah,
about
I
this
feel like
story.
that was 30 seconds late.
No, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I just saw. I'm like, oh, we have a time travel, but we haven't used it forever.
yeah.
Go ahead.
And so I wasn't anticipating being here. That's why they're over here. The guys did a great job by agreeing to move their whole lives over here, which I appreciate.
Wasn't that bad.
I didn't think I was going to be here.
Sorry.
So
For Cory, it was.
once I got there and I realized, I could almost stay there for 2 hours and still almost make the show. Okay, now I'm on a time schedule. I'm 40 minutes away. I'm going to say my goodbyes, do all that. So I do all that. All my cousin's friends, there's like 7 of them, 8 of them, something like that. Okay, one's on the dance floor, one's here. Goodbye, going around. And so I'm like, cool, done. My cousin's like, yep. Normally it's oh, where are you going? But nope. Have a good one. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah.
Great. All of a sudden her friend comes up and puts like a credit card in my face. Now this place, outdoor tiki bar, 300 people. There's people everywhere, lines everywhere.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Did she put a credit card
She
in
puts
your mouth?
no, just right to my face, and she goes like this. And she's, oh, no, I haven't seen you in so long. I'm like, what's going on? Before you go, can you just go get us all a drink at the bar? I'm like, the bar was right behind us, the tiki bar. But I'm like, well, I was just gonna take a. She's like, yeah, but we're a bunch of girls. Can you just take for us?
We're
please?
a bunch of girls.
Like,
Are they underage?
No, it's
What the fuck?
because it's like the princess mentality, And I'm like, and I love them all, so I'm like,
Right, but
I'm
I
like,
know you well enough to know, like,
Oh yeah,
yeah. We're going to correct that princess mentality.
I'm like,
real fast.
Okay. So I literally just did an about face. The bar was right there. 20 minutes later.
Got in the car with her credit card and I drove home.
Still in line. She's like, oh.
Round for the bar?
Yeah. She's like, and get whatever you want, too. I'm like, I'm leaving. I don't want to. Thank you, though. You know. So that was the hook that pulled me back in. And so I'm like, dun, 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 dun. Here are your drinks. These are from Megan. Megan, here's your card. See you guys. And I was gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I almost escaped. I was like, this is great. I went to the secret part of the bar and got
oh my God, they're probably talking about sports nonstop. No, someone's got to stop them.
Got my food and got my drink. I didn't have to wait in lines. And here I go to leave thinking I was going to chew my arm out of the bear trap. And can you go stand in this line? The one thing I can't stand doing.
Yeah.
You know. So, but it worked.
That's what kills me with the princess mentality for you to entertain that and,
if
and
it was,
actually
but
kowtow.
It's family, people I grew up with. So I'm like, all right. They kind of look at me like sometimes the chaperone, but other times like I'm their cousin as well. And so
how bad did you want to buy the most expensive drink you could and put it on their card?
Oh well, they got 7 Tito's and Red Bulls. So
God damn, I'm sure that wasn't cheap.
No, it was not.
Fuck me.
I mean, Tito's isn't that expensive for a vodka.
They charge you up the ass for Red Bull though.
Yeah, Tito's is
seriously.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, Tito's is like a little bit better than Absolute, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's about a $25 half gallon.
You would know, Todd. I would defer to you on that.
We don't drink a lot of Tito's anymore.
No, but you were in the liquor game for long enough.
Yeah. I like this quality product and U.S. made.
Yep. So I'm glad I could be here, make sure I showed up and nip that 90-second sports in the bud.
You totally screwed me, Nick, because I was going to go on and on and on and on.
You had your chance, Todd.
No, I didn't really.
Well, I mean,
that's true.
You almost did. You almost.
Did. I'm thinking back to me saying out loud before we started that, hold on, it's going to be another couple minutes, Todd, while Nick gets it up. And you didn't say anything, but I feel like in your mind,
exactly.
You're
in my mind, I'm like,
that motherfucker.
Dude, I'm not lying. I have like 7 more Olympic stories because I was definitely going to run. I was going to charge through. I mean, 90 seconds.
Wait, is one of them the story I told you?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Had there not been technical difficulties, you guys could have been
exactly. That's what screwed us.
You guys could have been into 90-minute sports at that point in time.
Yeah, and it's not like Cory got here late or anything. It's just it took that long to work through.
The road bumps that come along with moving everything somewhere else.
Yeah,
that's just what happens.
Yeah, and honestly, given our history, I'm surprised it only took as long as it did.
Yeah,
because in the past, sometimes we've been sitting here for like an hour or more.
I mean, I guess we're starting to learn.
Oh yeah, no. You've got think about that. You've got 100 since the last time we were here. You've got 100 episodes under your belt. We're now using
Cory.
Switcher Studio technology.
Would you say that your GoPro requires specific Bob Rankin upgrades? Once you come in the house, it's like Rankin House recognized.
My GoPro
new update found.
My GoPro probably would, and that's why we couldn't use it anymore over here.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Every time he was like, "Oh God damn it, fuck another upgrade." I'm like, what's the problem? And he's like,
he did a couple times. Like I kind of got the stink eye. Like somehow I had triggered the
upgrade.
Yeah. He never said anything to me, but he was annoyed.
Bullshit. It wasn't about the upgrade. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, hey, you can finish your story. Your thought.
No, you go ahead. We're talking about you, so you probably should jump in here.
Well, because when we originally talked the other day about doing it over here and how the setup was going to kind of be, Bob mentioned doing it outside. And like for a fraction of a second, like I was like, yeah, that's an awesome idea. It'll be a nice summer night. Yeah. It'll be perfect. Take everything outside, and then
nice breeze.
Reality took over, and I'm like, it's Bob's house. The Wi-Fi's terrible. There's no way we're gonna hook all this up outside, because once you get behind this wall, everything just shuts down.
Is that true?
No, not
for the most part.
No, there are sweet spots out there, and
But yeah, doing all this, there would have been no way.
It doesn't really matter because it's 80 degrees and like 60% humidity. So I knew like.
So it'd be a little cooler than here right now.
It's 71 in here right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have like a ton of equipment going in here, but Yeah,
I'm
71
sorry,
degrees in here.
all I'm seeing is spots right now.
Spots?
I can't see you.
All right, when we take a break, you can walk outside. You can
Yeah.
you
Get a
figure out
breeze.
exactly how much cooler it is in here.
The heat strokes started to take set in.
Yeah. I looked at Cory. I go, "Are you hot?" And he goes, "Yes."
Dude, there's a fucking ton of lights, a TV over here. I don't know what you want from me, man.
No, it's good. We
You got
appreciate you.
You had a you had a giant husky laying at your feet.
I did.
Yeah.
He's gone into like a heat stroke coma.
No, he's laying on the floor where the floor vent is. This is all fascinating content. But, Todd, I had a couple of questions for you.
I am ready to answer your question.
First of all, whatever happened to the segment that you had planned on doing called "You Know You're My Dog"?
Yeah, I was supposed to. I actually was supposed to make some music. I started on it, got distracted. We didn't bring it up again, and so I thought it was a drunken utterance by
Now it's
by
in my notes,
Nick.
buddy.
No, I actually thought about that a couple weeks ago. I thought I had that idea that, you guys, people love dogs, and you can talk about different dog stuff, and it could be a segment. And everyone's like, yeah, that's great.
And I didn't follow through.
No, I mean, none of us did. So
Yeah,
You can say it. You can say it. I failed you.
Not at all. So
No.
just a little nudge to go like, hey, don't forget about that. Like if you wanna do it, it's there. None of us are pushing for it, but I feel like
I like it.
what the fuck?
Gina,
Nick likes it at 65. Oh, the temperature.
My women.
I got it. I wasn't sure where she was going with that. Yes.
I'm sorry, Gina. You're much too young for me.
Now I forgot the other thing I had for you, Todd.
Come on.
I honestly, I cannot recall what it was. Was it?
The sweat getting in your eyes?
No. I can't remember what. Doesn't matter. Hold on. Okay. So let's do 100 questions. Without your book, I'm not sure if you could come up with one. So
With 100 questions? I know
It's
I can't.
Existential one. Yeah.
Oh, an existential?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me a minute and I'll do it. You guys
Yeah,
riff.
sure. There's here. Hey,
Jack-a-lack.
Jack's here.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. No problem. Todd and Cory will keep things moving while Nick is looking for a question.
I'm ready.
Todd.
Yes.
So, hang on. Bob told me to hang on 1 second. He told us to talk and then tells us to hang on.
I know. It's like, what's great?
All right, this week for Nick's existential question, not a segment we do all the time, but we're gonna pick it up this week. That one was okay. So we had a desert island one that was what we've already done. So the one for this week is gonna be if you could have a free chip paid for by whomever, the government,
A free
whoever.
chip?
chip like a computer chip.
Okay.
And this chip would be put into your child or loved one, someone significant other, family member, into their brain and provide basic knowledge, math, language, history, facts, etc. Would you do it? Yes or no, and why? So that's this week's question. If you could have a free computer chip put into someone that you care about's brain to provide all basic knowledge for math, language, history and facts, etc., would you do it? Yes or no, and why?
Are there any caveats to that? Like, they're going to retain it for forever, or
I'm assuming the undertone is that they would keep the information. It's not going to fade. There's not going to be like, any kind of loss of memory or anything like that.
Oh, that's
While you're thinking, tell me what the question was.
So the question was, if you could have a free chip, computer chip, microchip, put into your child's brain or significant other to provide all basic knowledge, math, language, history, facts, etc., would you do it? Yes or no, and why?
What if they already have the basics of all those things?
Let's say that, I mean,
Are you talking about like if you just had a baby?
it could be that.
Okay.
But I mean, do you know all the basic knowledge of math, language, history, facts, etc.?
When you say basic,
I mean,
like 100 level?
I don't know. I mean, it's open for interpretation, I would assume. I mean, to me,
Okay.
this seems like savant level. You know, I mean,
Oh, okay. So it's not basic level. You're talking like.
well, no, but it's I can tell you right now, even though if you want to talk about basic level, we've all gone through basic level of math, language, history, facts, etc.
Yep.
But at the flip of a switch, I think there's a lot of us that aren't going to be able to do some of those things.
I feel like it's and Todd, you could probably you will probably agree with this. I think all of us are probably shallow in everything and deep in like one thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I feel like the question is, would you do it if you could make your child, significant other, whomever,
Yeah.
deep in everything? If not deep, then maybe like intermediate level.
Yeah. Well, so my understanding of the question, and obviously it's open to interpretation, but my understanding of the question would be, it's not going to erase anything. So if I were to give it to you, it's not going to be like, oh, now your double English major goes down to basic level.
Right.
Like you're not going to lose any information.
Okay. But you're going to shore up all the areas like math in which I am woefully deficient.
Same with me. Yeah.
Okay.
Clarifying question.
Yes.
Can I put it in myself? And myself being
No. No. And you can't put the chip in yourself either.
Damn it! 2 for
I
2.
could put it in myself. I'd never leave the house.
For those of you who can't see the special off-camera secret camera, he was holding something up. So
Yeah. It was purple. It was huge.
it had gold writing. It said TD on the side.
TD 32.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, have you heard of the Superman of Cuba?
Oh.
Please,
But
I don't want to
really
segue
wanna-
into anything
Look,
that you
can-
say. Speaking of that, after what we just talked about. Speaking of my schwants,
Exactly. Have you heard of the Superman of Cuba or Havana?
you guys know money from Washington State?
That's all. I'm just telling you.
Wait, are you going to tell us that story after this existential question?
I'm not, but
Will you tell us in the back?
it was a question.
Okay. So I feel like the question that you're asking, I feel like I'm not understanding it because if in my mind the answer is like, yeah, of course I would.
Sure.
Are there any downfalls to this chip?
I don't know.
that's my like. I don't know. I would have so many more questions to want to know about what the long-term effects and consequences might be. Because to me, I would say I'd rather have my kid just learn like we did and retain the information that way and learn it.
First of all, we didn't retain
No,
much.
but you wouldn't want your kid to make the same stupid mistakes you've made, would you?
Of course I would. That's part of learning.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think that if you gave them if you gave them this, that would mean that they could deep dive into and focus their
No,
energy on other things?
Because all you said it just made them good at those 3 things.
Right, but they can still use the energy that they would use to learn that.
I mean,
And-
I'm not going to lie. Math after 8th grade, I really haven't given too much thought to.
well, but that's the allure of the chip is if
But I haven't needed to though. That's what I'm saying.
But I feel like you probably don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, at the end of the day, exactly. If you're going to calculate a loss or return on an investment, if you're not doing that, but if you had the skills now to do that, you could change your life.
yeah, if all of a sudden I sat down and gave everyone some college ruled paper and was like, all right, we're going to do these algebra and geometry equations. 5 minutes starts now. I think we'd all be like, what?
Algebra what?
Yeah.
I the way that you stated it, the way it's probably written,
Yeah.
it doesn't appear that
There's
there
no
would be
downside.
Right. Why would you not?
Well,
give this to somebody?
there is one downside,
What's that?
because I think it was going to be my next clarifying question. You can only give it to one person, right?
Correct.
that's what's going to cause the shit show.
Well, we
It's
already
like
know
if you,
you're giving
it's
it
like
to
if you had
yourself.
$1 million to give away, like
Exactly. Well, yeah, because if anybody else found out that you gave this chip that made, if you gave it to Jack and Cecilia found out, she'd be like, "What the fudge? Why wouldn't you give it to me?" You see what I'm saying? It's like,
I mean, it
that's
doesn't
the only
say-
downside.
because
It
you're
does-
already smart, baby.
It,
That's-
it doesn't. You call her baby
I mean, yeah.
in that way.
Now,
If she's
now I
gonna
just
chop
got
it
it.
No,
off.
it's the way that you say it. Yeah, you just say like baby.
Okay.
Hey,
Just threw up in my mouth.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah,
I
where'd
have
that
to see
fireball
him
go?
work this in person.
So
Nice.
you're already smart, baby.
Yeah, it's a reassuring.
Yeah, it doesn't say either way that you have to specify one singular person. It just says if you could put it into your child, would you do it? And I was opening up the question for significant other, for people that don't have a child,
Okay.
children, whatever.
Yeah,
But I'm reading it as there's no further information known about the question. So
Yeah.
I only have to assume that everything else is up in the air.
right.
So I'm looking at it like maybe the vaccine. Now, the vaccine, there were a lot of people getting it or not getting it for very specific reasons, and I respect both decisions. But there's questions on what could happen. Could there be complications, things like that. So we don't know, and we can't ask.
Sorry,
We can't. The question.
my dog has allergies.
The question is what the question is. So I guess that's a possibility. Would you do it, or would you be like, I would have to know that the science is legitimate and 100%, and they're not going to get a tumor as a result, something like that. That would be my.
I mean, I would most definitely want to know all that. If they can't provide that, then most definitely no.
Then no, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would depend on that'd be a Todd Dillon clarifying question. But I hear where Corey's going with that. Like, are you short if you give it to your child? Are you denying them the joy of learning? No. There's some. I mean, whether it's law enforcement, the joys of cooking, the discovery of like learning a new skill,
The
those are
joys of
things
IT. Yeah, you
but
see?
you know what I mean? There's certain things that everybody can say like, oh no, I wouldn't. If I would have lost that, that it would have been half of the enjoyment of the whole thing.
The adventures and the journey. Is
I
that
don't,
what
I
you're
don't
saying?
put words in your mouth, but
Is that what you're saying?
No, because that's what I'm
Yeah.
exactly what I'm saying. I mean, it's there can be stuff in life that you go through and you experience that is enjoyable, and that, and I get the other side of saying like, yeah, those skills, like you could do other stuff or find time for other things, but I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, the skills listed weren't. It's
More than that, I didn't think it was just a specific set of skills.
that's what he said. That was what was it? Math.
Math, language, history, and history facts, etc.
oh, etc.
Oh,
Several.
well, see
So
now
that's
yeah.
a broad.
Exactly.
Now, if it was like a Liam Neeson specific set of skills,
No,
that's
these are basic-
That's a different
basic
question.
knowledge.
Even still, you could actually read, and you know how to train to do that. How have people who have come from nothing to something learn how to do it?
There
You
are a
could-
lot of questions
Yeah.
because what is
Facts.
what is your definition on basic knowledge? To me, my definition on basic knowledge would probably be a 4th or 5th grade level.
how far-
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
6th, 7th grade, maybe.
but
That's basic knowledge.
6th and 7th graders can't function in the world necessarily.
Well, it's not saying function in the world knowledge. It's basic.
But why would you? So, what is the benefit of giving someone basic knowledge that anyone, younger than a 7th grader would already have?
As Ross once said, don't blame the questions.
Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
think etc. leaves it open to a lot. And if you could know everything about something, even at the 5th grade level, you'd be a superhero.
Well, but the one thing that you couldn't do is you wouldn't be able to teach anybody what you knew because you never learned it yourself. It was just given to you.
But you can
Why
you
wouldn't
have
you
that
be able
chip,
to
you
teach
can
them?
constantly recall it. Yeah, you have
Yes,
it there
you'd be able to
No,
teach
no,
anyone.
But you,
photographic memory.
but
That's a very good point.
the thanks, Cory.
If you just know it,
You don't know how you
don't know
learned
how
it.
you got to that conclusion.
And you couldn't teach somebody else because you didn't go through that process yourself. You have no idea how you learned it.
I mean, I would assume, and we've spent way too long on this, but I would.
That's an interesting question.
I would assume basic knowledge means that you know the ins and outs of why you got there. It's not just giving you the answers to the problems; it's giving you the solutions and how to solve them. And so, I would think it would be teachable.
There's a lot of ins and outs and ups and downs with this question.
What have yous.
A lot of have yous.
A lot of snippets and clippets.
Yeah.
Yeah, strikes and gutters.
Strikes and gutters.
All right.
Todd, Dylan, you ready for a break?
I'm ready for a break.
Let's do that. So we're gonna take a break. We'll come back in 15 minutes. And in the meantime, you don't have to go anywhere. Stay in the room. Get yourself a drink. Maybe hit the little Wrangler's room while you're waiting. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why does the regular have to be so small?
Hey, you kids! You know who this is. Thank you for listening to the Snozcast. I've always said this show is somewhere between children's programming and hardcore pornography. But that's for you to find out. My good friends Cory, Bob, and Nick are a bit busy right now, taking a break. We all know that Nick is probably telling a horribly boring and long-winded story. Bob's proudly making love to a vinyl of the Ray Conniff Singers. And Cory is crop dusting every single person out of the studio. But fret not, my dear friends. They will be back soon.
Well, strap me to a pig and roll me in the mud. If you're still listening to the Schnozcast, you big Egypts, then you're already ahead of the game. Me boys Nick, Cory and Bob are probably still pouring their pints, but we'll be back very shortly. As me old daddy-o, me old lad used to remark, here's to cheating, stealing, fighting and drinking. If you cheat, may you cheat death. If you steal, may you steal a woman's heart. And if you fight, may you fight for a brother. And if you drink, may you drink with me. Slaughter.
G'day from down under. Just a quick word so there's no whinging. No worries. The boys from Schnozcast are taking a break from a ripper episode. Just grabbing a slab from the bottle-o to quench their thirst. So relax, grab yourself a coldie, and enjoy the music. Ta!
Whoa, whoa, whoa there. Just hold your horses. I can tell that some of y'all are getting a little bit squirrely about waiting for Bob, Cory, and Nick to get back to business with the rest of this fine, fine episode of Schnozcast, which is pretty as a peach. It won't be much longer now. Maybe something that's all cattywampus with the microphones or something. You know how these things are. You're preaching to the choir 'cause I can't wait neither. Anyway, the boys are fixing to come back with a whole mess of funny stuff that's hotter than a hooker's doorknob on payday. So just take a rest and enjoy the music, darling.
Listening to the Schnozcast, dig it? My boys Cory, Nick, and Bob probably crushing some cans before the next match. Yeah, Miss Elizabeth and I never miss the opportunity to feel the excitement that is Schnozcast. Yeah, you know the Macho Man is the Tower of Power. Too sweet to be sour. Take it from the Macho Man. Hang in there, brother. Ooh, yeah.
And welcome back to the second half of episode 135 for Schnozcast. Welcome back, everybody. Mr. Mighty.
Good to be back.
Mr. Mighty's back.
I'm back, baby.
Dude, that was cutting it close.
Yeah, I know. I sat down and I'm like, woo, with seconds to spare.
That was literally the closest I think we've ever come on the break.
Yeah.
I was sitting here and I'm like, I'm listening to the music. I'm like, I think he knows. Maybe I should say something. He came running over. I'm like, yeah, he knows.
Yeah. I had to give the dog a chewy treat.
And then what did you do with Indy? Oh, hey, Nick.
All right. Cory, let's get into gentleman's agreement. Gentleman's agreement.
We got it. Todd, we need some music for that.
Yep,
Oh.
I'm on it.
I have music for that.
Let's collaborate.
I forgot to put that shit in the mixer. Can I play it out loud if I turn my laptop volume up?
Yeah, sure.
Will this come over? Hold on.
Holding.
Hang on.
Oh man.
No.
You don't have
Yeah,
it.
so sound bites. That's where it is. Got it. Here we go.
it's the MF and Gentleman's Agreement. You did. To
That's
be
it.
fair, you did tell me
I did.
that you were going to clip it.
I did.
There we go.
I just didn't put on a button, but it'll be done for next week. I doubt that Nick will play it, but we'll see.
I mean, I don't really have a choice. You guys are just going to probably press it.
No. I'm not going to be there, so you're going to be running the mixer. So
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
I can press it.
that's true. You're probably going to sit where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
Okay. Todd Dillon,
Yes, sir.
I assigned you the Summer of Soul,
Yes, you did.
and
But I had. But don't.
yeah.
Shouldn't I do my my makeup one first? I had two.
Oh, was that for the cabin?
You broke up a bit.
Was that for the cabin?
Yes. Who
Yeah,
assigned
that-
that to me?
Oh, that was all Cory. That's got Cory written all over
Yes.
it.
Okay. So
'Cause he was on a
there's-
Burt Kreischer kick with you.
Yes. Thank you. You just saved it too. So should I start with that one first?
Yeah. Start with that one first. Sorry.
Okay. So the reason why I asked that question is there's a movie called The Cabin from like 2018.
Oh, did
And that's
watch
what
it
you
instead?
watched. Yeah.
Well, I watched it and it was so freaking horrible. I had to shut it off at the 3/4 way point because it was like, this doesn't make any sense. But I'm like, I got to watch. It's called The Cabin. I kept searching The Cabin. And so I tried to watch it again. And thankfully, my Tubi app died about halfway through. And so I'm like, hey, I gave it a go. I tried to watch the worst movie ever called The Cabin 2 times. And it was so horrible, I was going to tear someone a new one. But now I know that Cory was supposed to have me watch, supposed to say The Cabin with what's his Tom
Burt Kreischer.
Yeah, that's very important to actually getting the search right.
Gotcha.
I told you it was on
And-
Netflix.
Where was
That's
the
not
other-
what's in that one note though.
I don't
think
control the one.
I just put the name of the thing. I didn't put what
Exactly.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I watched it and it was horrible. And then when I searched it the second time, I did notice there was a thing for The Cabin with Burt Kreischer. And so I actually did watch the entire miniseries. Solid effort. Very, very good. I think that he could have elaborated. So, and I need to back up. So I found the right thing I was supposed to watch.
I noticed you didn't give a grade there.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. So the first Cabin F- and ass kicking.
Wow.
The gets a solid B-. Absolutely a good. It's apparent him being naked is actually funny, and the fact that he and Bobby Lee are tight is awesome. But I'll give I guess I still screwed up. The third Basically, Bert Kreischer is a comedian, and the premise of this miniseries is that he needs to get away. He's too busy. He's working, barely seeing his family, and it's just he's busy 26 hours every day, and his wife and he's drinking to fill some of the gaps in actual working. So he's going to go away in the woods by himself to find himself. And he turns out rather than doing that, he shoots a show. So again, he's working, but favorite people, most of them comedians, to camp with him and do kind of mind, body, soul experiments together and conversation. So that's the 90-second synopsis. And I give it a solid B-.
Solid.
B- come from Todd. That's pretty impressive. I'll take that.
Yeah, the things that, like I said, the things I didn't like is I don't think in each one of the episodes, this isn't a spoiler alert, but he looks to kind of learn something about himself and life. And there's a specific episode with Ms. Pat and whatever Coco from The Big Bang Theory. And he actually didn't draw the real point out of it. At the end of the day, they're assholes made up of every race and culture on the planet. And yeah, I don't want to give it away, but he didn't get the point there. And it was a bit of a bummer. But other than that, it was a solid show.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Wow. Yeah, you can't hope for anything better than that.
Right.
So Cory.
Sure you can.
Well, that's true. There's a lot of grades between an A and a B-. Cory, you had to watch.
Do I do my other one now?
Oh yeah. Shit. I'm sorry. Yes. Summer of Soul.
Yeah, Summer of Soul. So Bob assigned that to me. It was on my list of things to watch, and so I was excited to watch it because I'd heard good things, but I didn't know really anything about it. Synopsis is for over 50 years. So everybody has heard of Woodstock. No matter how old you are, you've heard of Woodstock. 1969, the Summer of Love, America and generation was taking over, and we were going to have fun, be ourselves, and everything. And Woodstock is like the quintessential moment of 1969. And it turns out, a few months apart, there was a cultural festival in Harlem, New York, which also featured bands and music. And so between 50 and 300,000 people attended this series of concerts that were all free to the public. And it was amazing. And so that's kind of the premise of this. It's footage that was locked in some guy's basement for 50 years. And Bob, you can do much better than a B-. I gave this a solid A. Solid. Just because if you love me, and again, if you don't like music, it's probably not for you. And again, there's some other historical things that are pretty important. But if you're really a fan of music and all music, what I loved about it was I had a smile on my face, and I was actually saving songs and groups that I'd never heard of before because I wanted to listen to their stuff, because it is a phenomenal show.
I want to know whether that's like available on vinyl, like if they put the soundtrack out to that movie with some of the, not necessarily all of them, but as many as they can get. I would definitely pick it up.
Yeah, like I said, I'm like, I've heard 8 songs of hers in my playlist, and I'm like, wow, I never heard that live version. I hope that I can get that.
Now, did you? I trust that you watched it with a good stereo system.
I did.
Okay.
Stevie Wonder to open up. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was amazing. I didn't know he could play the drums.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
I know. I didn't want to say that because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Todd, is there any room in your house that doesn't have a good audio system?
The bathroom.
I feel like that is probably
the
actually one of the
has
best.
decent.
Exactly.
I mean, it wouldn't go.
I think I might know Todd a little better than you.
The closet. The coat closet.
I don't have one in the coat closet. No, I think I'm a. Actually, no.
No, the coat closet is.
There's a TV and there's a television in the room I'm sitting in right now, and it does not have any. It only has TV monitor sound. So yes, there is a room that has shitty sound. This one right here.
Okay.
But
awesome, man. I'm glad you liked it.
Loved it. If you're a fan of music, watch it, please. It's awesome. Just even again, you can even don't listen to the words if you don't want to. Listen to the music. The words are pretty awesome as well.
Yeah,
loved it.
All right, Cory, you had from Todd. You had Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
I like where this is starting.
So, all right. So on the podcast, we there's a few things we don't really ever touch on. Three of the big ones: race, politics, and religion. Todd, thank you for picking out a movie that's all the movie was about, was those three things. So I've actually been thinking about this like all week, and trying to how to like not carefully put this together, but trying to keep with what we have on the show without breaching any of those topics, if you will, to a certain extent. But
so before you go further, and so again, my intent wasn't to break any rules of the podcast.
No. I know. Yeah, obviously.
Content does. And so again, just the quality of the film, the prompt. At the end of the day, like I said, that's what this is for me. I think it was well made, well done, especially being that the lead actor is not from here and has the thickest accent ever. But never mind.
No. Daniel Kaluuya you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there was a lot of stuff, like I said, that took place during this movie that I don't want to go too much into as far as opinions and views and us discussing it actually. But what I did find very interesting was during that time, late 60s, early 70s, excuse me.
Jesus.
Yeah, that came from deep.
I feel like there was a male bullfrog in Heat.
Just about. But the idea that basically the government was wanting races to wage war against each other because it would benefit the government was absolutely insane to me. Like knowing, like hearing that information, and Martin Sheen, playing J. Edgar, and him comparing the Korean War to their current state of affairs in the United States, was mind-boggling. I still can barely wrap my head around that's what was taking place during that time. But the way I decided that I'll really bring this all together was that the old quote of if we don't learn from the past, history is doomed to repeat itself, and that is shown from the movie to the present day that we're in. And I clearly feel that's why it was produced and made, because it shows exactly today's times and days that we're in reflect back on the late 60s and 70s, and we haven't learned from it as a society or as a people, and that's shameful on us. So, like I said, putting those two together, that's what really kind of hit it home for me, and that was my full thought that I would give you guys on the movie and put out there, for people that want to go watch and create their own opinion and thought on it. Please do. It is a great movie. Very insightful. And makes you think about a lot as far as, like I said, the day that we're currently in. We're just reliving the past, and it's not a good thing.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it on my list.
I will say the one thing that I did laugh at big time during the movie was there was a shootout scene where there were some officers across the street and some people in a house, like an apartment on the second floor, and they were in a shootout with 38s and shotguns. And I'm like, oh my God, at least this was back in the day when you could have a shootout. No one was really going to get hurt.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's no way you're shooting a 38 from across the street into a window and hitting someone. And then you're definitely not shooting a shotgun across an entire city block and hitting your target. So I'm like, yeah, that's, at least they could just shoot at each other and maybe a bystander would get hurt. But
yeah, that
was about it. You could have fun and shoot at each other and no one would actually get hit. So
right.
I did laugh at I chuckled myself at that part of it, but excellent picture.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Most definitely.
Yeah, Todd, we got a shot.
Shots?
Todd, we got a shot sitting here. A shot shit.
I got one as well. I got mine ready. I'm locked and loaded.
All right, let's do it. For if you're out there listening in the future, join us. Pause us, and we're back. Machu Picchu.
Salute.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Nick's in a rush.
We're reaching the stickiest liqueurs we can find over the most expensive equipment we can find.
Yeah.
Just so we can touch glasses, and that makes zero sense.
Sorry.
It's okay. All right. So, Nick, you're going to give your review for The Circle next week, right?
Correct.
Okay. So that brings it back to me. I had to watch The Killing, assigned from Nick. Is it okay if I give the review even though I only got through 2 episodes?
Sure. That's where all you were assigned, right?
Well, they're 40 minutes each,
That's
which means I
two
knew really to
episodes.
get through 3.
No,
but,
2's fine.
but I plan on. So
Yeah. No, that's fine.
So I will say, I would give it a solid B, and I intend on finishing it. And the only thing that's going to keep me from doing that is I am 2 episodes away from finishing, from getting all caught up with Ozark. So I want to finish that first.
Yeah, I'm on Ozark as well.
And then I want to get back to Mr. In Between. Thanks, Todd.
Yep.
And to finish The Killing, because. So The Killing is so quick 30 seconds. It's about an FBI agent who is about to retire. I'll try to keep this as spoiler free as I can. But you could probably read what I'm about to say is probably on the IMDb. Quick recap of the plot anyway. FBI agent about to retire, but is drawn back into a case involving the disappearance and subsequent finding of the body of a missing girl, and she has a partner, and her partner was really supposed to be her replacement, and they end up working together. So I've only seen the first couple episodes, but I really liked it a lot. I liked the tone of the show. I think that the actress who played the parents of the missing girl were utterly fantastic. I've seen a lot of movies and TV shows and documentaries in which, someone has gone missing and the parents are supposed to be grieving or going through the grieving process, but this was something beyond that. Like they really did a good, as they're terrific actors, both the mother and the father, and the mother, it was Michelle Forbes. I had to look up her name because I've seen her in a ton of other things. And I just want to call out the guy's name who played the dad. His name is Brent Sexton. And the two of them did such a good job of, like, I started to kind of get choked up myself watching it. Because, you try to suspend disbelief and put yourself in their shoes. Like, well, how would I react if this was my child?
Right.
And I've seen this actor in a lot of different things. He's been in a ton of shit, and I didn't know his name. And I feel like after this, I'm like, I need to know this guy's name. So Brent Sexton knocked it out of the park, and the guy who plays the replacement FBI agent is Joel Kinnaman.
He's like an up and comer, isn't he? Because he's been in a lot of stuff recently.
Yeah, he's not an up and comer. He's been in a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
he was in the first Suicide Squad. He's in the brand new James Gunn directed Suicide Squad, which just opened up this weekend. Laura and I went to see it last night. He plays Rick Flag in that. He was also in I Assigned You, Nick, I think, back on.
Doesn't he play a politician in something?
He's played a politician in a couple different things. He's also in Altered Carbon.
Yes.
And he did a really good job there. So he's a Swedish actor.
Is he really? So he's faking an accent.
Got that. Yeah, but he's an actor. So that's how good he is with accents. But he's got that very tall, sort of angular, blonde, Swedish face.
Yeah.
And he's a really good actor. And once I saw him walk in the door, I'm like, oh, I'm in.
Right.
This guy can kill it. So I want to see what he does.
That was actually the first thing I saw him in, and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
he's very believable at his character. That was the first character I saw him. So when I saw him as a politician, I'm like, come on.
House of Cards.
Yeah.
Have you seen House of Cards?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, dude.
Same guy.
No, you're the rough and tough fucking street guy.
Yeah.
You're not. But then I got on board. He's that good.
Yeah, I want to see what he can do as a, down on his luck, sort of, from the streets,
Yeah.
American FBI agent. So, Yeah, solid B, and it would probably be higher if I had been able to watch more. But I'm definitely going to keep with it and finish the first season.
And the main character, I'm not familiar with her.
Can't remember her name,
but she kind of has like an Angie undertone to her.
Go on.
I mean,
go on.
She kind of has like that demeanor, like
what demeanor is that?
Kind of like the tomboy. She's tough. She kind of wants to be on her own and no makeup kind of thing. Like she can handle her business, and I see parts of Angie and her kind of intertwined, and I liked her character. I did. She was
a compliment.
Yeah,
okay.
It wasn't. She.
Right.
She.
I don't think for a second that Angie's a friend of ours. Who, now that we're going back to harkening back to us recording in my kitchen.
Yeah.
100 episodes ago, she was actually here in the kitchen on a podcast, and if you listen to that one, you'll understand why she hasn't returned.
No, but yeah, she's just a short attention span. That was all. But
yeah.
But I really liked her character. And I don't know if she's like a fantastic actress or that's her coming out in her character. But whatever she was doing she didn't do anything where she knocked it out of the park, but she was believable.
She's very serious.
Yes.
Very they lingered on her face a lot for that stoic
Yeah.
Reviewing the crime scene or they just found something and she realizes something significant and she kind of had to give the old.
She was believable as the seasoned chick cop. I mean,
she was very seasoned, but I looked her up too. I can't remember her name, but I think she's been in a few art house type films and independent movies. I don't think she's been in anything huge yet.
No, I don't either. And she's super short, I think, too.
She's short. I think she's a ginger.
Yeah, I think so too.
But she's also very good. But I feel like her best stuff is yet to come. After the first couple episodes, I'm sure I haven't seen it yet.
And I believe The Killing only goes on for 3 seasons.
Well, dude, I mean, I'm trying to fucking get through Ozark.
No.
I got to get through another season of Mr. Between.
You always assume I'm like, you have to watch this.
No. This is the ever present struggle with Gentleman's Agreement. You're gonna get assigned some shit that you're not gonna like, and then you're gonna get assigned some really good stuff, and you're gonna want to finish it. But the next week, you're gonna get something else.
Yeah.
And if you get 2 or 3 weeks in a row where someone assigns you something that's had 3 or 4 seasons that you really like now the shit piles up, and there aren't enough hours in the day.
Cory.
Oh, it looks like you got attempting to reconnect. I'm not sure if that's to YouTube.
I'm not seeing it over here, but
let's
continue on.
Oh, that's only error 53405. That's
you know how many
nothing to worry about.
You know how many errors preceded that?
Yeah. All right. So oh no. Please allow Switcher Studio to access your account.
Yeah, I liked it.
Token expired.
I liked it. I burned through the 3 seasons. I enjoyed it. It left me wanting more. I don't know why they only did 3, but I feel like that The Killing was one of those things that they're like, this is what we're doing. We're doing 3. We're wrapping it up, and that's the way it's going to be.
And I respect the shit out of that.
Fuck yeah.
If the story you have to tell takes 3 seasons, don't fucking drag it out into 4. Tell a tight, good story for 3 seasons, and I'm in. And and when it's over, I will fucking applaud and can't wait to see the actors that were in it and the writers who did it and the directors who did it do something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy that. As much as I want to see more, the story that you're telling is over.
Right.
So it's done.
I like the way the Brits do it for the first office, the UK office, and for a lot of their series. They do every season's 6 or 7 episodes. That's it. And that means every episode's 30 minutes. And so you only get a few hours for the first season, and then they only do 3 seasons, and that's it. They're done.
Wow. And
then they move on. They got enough ideas, and they recycle those actors, and they move from show to show. But they don't feel a lot of fat. And then, so then when they did the U.S. office, they're like, oh no, we got to do 25 episodes a season. It's going to go 8 seasons.
Well, remember Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Hour-long episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, there were like 20 some episodes per season in Breaking Bad, I believe.
I feel like there was
like
less than
13
that,
to 20 or something like that.
yeah, and they went 5 seasons, I think.
Oh no, Breaking Bad?
Yeah,
Was it 5?
I thought it was
5 or 6.
Yeah, right around there.
But Breaking Bad had a story to tell that it's a lot like
5. Yeah, it was 5.
I'm going to go back to Ozark because that's the one I'm trying to wrap up, at least get caught up with it, because I think they're going to come up with a 4th season pretty soon. Ozark's one of those shows, just like Breaking Bad. It doesn't matter what episode you're in. The way that you think it's going to go, it doesn't go that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's something else happens, and they take it in a totally different direction. And so every episode, there's at least one moment you're like, "What the fuck?"
I
love that.
I still love the idea that there was a time that your movie jackets are so full and filmography, like you just have seen everything. And the fact when I was telling you about Breaking Bad and you're like, I've never seen it. I'm like, what? And yeah, I'm just so glad you finally watched it.
Yeah, well, there were a ton of. I mean, when we first started Gentleman's Agreement, my watch list on Netflix and Amazon Video and Hulu and HBO, there's like 20, 25 movies on each one that or series that I'd wanted to get to. Sorry. But there's just only so many hours in the day. So Gentleman's Agreement is a great way to, like, someone's going to assign it to me. Someone's going to assign something good.
Yep.
I'm not always going to get Jingle Jangle.
Come on.
Sorry, Todd.
Hey, wait. The Jingle Jangle got a good rating. It just wasn't for
Not
Nick.
by me.
First of all, nobody got Jingle Jangle but me.
That's true. That is true.
So you don't
So
understand.
far, yeah.
My troubles, troubles.
Christmas is coming pretty soon.
I've
I
been
feel like
Jangle.
one of the two of us is going to get
Yeah.
Jingle Jangle still got a passing grade.
Yeah, you want to. Christmas is coming. You want to depress yourself around Christmas? Watch
not.
3 hours of Jingle Jangle.
It's not a 3-hour movie.
It felt like it was 7 hours.
Come on, go to the tape. Go to the tape.
tape.
That was not the review that Nick gave when he watched.
What I said was I hated Todd for giving me that fucking movie because I said he made me watch little girls sing songs and little boys, and I wanted to kill myself.
It's a glowing review.
I said,
I think
but
so.
I understood the undertone of it and the fact that it positively showed different cultures in Christmas tradition movies that were not often present in like the black community and things like that. They didn't have those, every movie, like holiday movie and everything that you look at, it's just predominantly white people. So it gave a positive image to that, and I respected that. I thought that was great. And I also said that had I been a kid, I probably would have enjoyed the shit out of it.
Right.
But I was not. I was an adult.
Exactly. And actually, by the way, the thing I loved was, again, how many movies have you seen Forrest Whitaker sing in?
Yeah, that was great. And how many movies do you get to see Ricky Martin as a fucking animated character?
Hopefully zero.
It was great.
I was hoping every movie
And-
I get to see Ricky Martin.
And one of the Keenan and Kel duo also was in that movie.
Was it Keenan?
I would say most likely Keenan.
Yeah.
Is Kel still alive?
I haven't seen Kel in anything for a while.
What the
I
hell
think
happened?
Good Burger.
to
I
him?
think Good Burger was the last thing I saw Kel in.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, dude.
But yeah, it was it had mixed emotions going into that review.
Mixed him. All right, so new assignments.
Yeah, and I'll double up this week, so that's fine.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay.
I got no problem with that.
All right. So I have Cory. Cory's got Todd. Todd's got Nick, and Nick has me again.
Ooh. Dang.
Anybody want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first just because you're probably going to be like, oh, yeah, I finally got around to seeing that. I had something in mind.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Did you end up watching Sneaky Pete?
I did watch.
You son of a bitch. I knew you were going to say that.
I was assigned Sneaky Pete.
And you liked it, right?
Feel like it. Yeah, I loved
I
it.
think I gave it to you.
When was that? Yeah. This was back in October of 2020. I don't know if it was you, Todd, but it might have been.
Maybe.
All right. So
Well, My phone is not connected to your Wi-Fi, and we're in a Faraday cage, so I can't get on.
Your laptop is.
I know, but I'm not connected through my Netflix on here right now. So
Okay.
But anyhow,
All right, you want to go last?
No. Why don't we make this easy?
Okay.
Why don't you watch 2 more episodes of The Killing, so you don't have to double dip?
Oh man,
You'll have time.
Gentleman and scholar. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I will absolutely do that. I am going to watch 2 hours of Ozark first, though.
Whatever you want to do.
As long as by this time actually, I will have time because I'm not going to be here next week.
That's true.
So I got time. So I'll tell you what.
Nothing but time.
I will finish the rest of the first season of The Killing. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
2 weeks from now.
Catch me outside.
Dude. That's not good. All right. Cory, you got something for Todd?
I do. Todd, you have where'd it go here? I lost.
Todd's right there.
I can see Todd.
Okay.
How to Make Money Dealing Drugs. That's on HBO Max.
Yeah, but what are you assigning him?
Oh. That's it.
Todd already knows that.
I lost contact with you guys for a second. What was that? I did.
I was going to say, Todd is being awfully quiet.
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
I didn't hear one thing.
Oh, okay. You have How to Make Money Dealing Drugs on HBO Max.
Well, that's it. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry because I lost contact because I was too busy thinking about how to make money while dealing drugs.
I'm like, I got some ideas around that.
Well, this might help you out.
There we go.
Todd, you haven't seen it, have you?
I have not.
All right.
Yep.
Well, Todd, you got Nick.
I do, and Nick, I love getting Nick because there's an opportunity to go many ways, and I don't know if this is against the rules, but Nick,
now hold on before you say this. The one that the what Nick has to watch from this week that he hasn't watched yet, so we'll have 2 to get for next week, was also from you, and wasn't it from you? The Circle?
No, well, not from me.
It wasn't from you.
I gave him the Circle.
Nope.
You did? Oh,
Yeah.
Never mind.
So can I say what I was going to say?
Yeah.
All right. So Nick, actually, I have 2 things in mind, and I think they're both awesome because I loved them both. But do you want to laugh or do you want to just be gripped?
Gripped?
Can he be gripped while laughing?
Oh, an action movie. Grip.
I'll be just spit in your hand first before you grip too hard.
Yeah, some lotion if if you really cared.
Sponsored by Jerkins.
Yeah. I want to be gripped, Todd.
All right. Have you seen Sicario, Day of Soldado?
I'm sorry?
Wait, hold on.
There you go.
Hey, yeah.
You can't. Yeah, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
See, Todd, let's go back because I know he already hasn't seen that. Why not go with the original?
Yeah, not the sequel.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to take over your pick by any means.
No. That's a great point.
But then you can bank for future. Next time you get Nick, you can give him the sequel to it.
Right.
Got it. Sicario.
Okay.
All right, so that leaves me with Cory. Cory, have you seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Yeah, you assigned it to me.
I did?
Yeah.
No.
On the podcast?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I know you assigned it to me.
Very
Yeah,
sure.
I think I assigned it to Nick.
I also watched it at
But
some point.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, back to the drawing board. Do you want a movie or do you want a show, like a series?
It's your pick, man.
Have you ever seen News Radio?
No.
There you go.
Oh, boy. Okay. Is this easy to find?
I'll tell you what. If you can't find it,
You have the DVD?
I have the DVDs.
Nick, how many times have we heard that?
Well, you're here in my house. You can get it
No,
before
I know,
you leave.
I know that. I'm just saying though,
Cory.
you happen to have that DVD.
I do.
Go to the movie vault.
What's that passcode again, Bob?
555.
Hello, and thank you for calling Movie Phone. Please enter the password now.
For the movie you want to hear, press 1. You've selected Agent Zero. You've selected Brown Eyed Girl.
You have selected the Vinyl Countdown.
Why don't you tell me what you want to see at the movies?
Final countdown? The fuck is this, Bob?
Oh man.
Why was the password to the vault 555 Filk?
Oh my god. All right. Do we only have time? I'm looking at the clock, and with
We still have like 30 minutes if you wanted.
all right. So let's do 100 questions. Okay. Normally, I would. What?
No, you're 555 Philk. What's Philk? What do you mean? You're Philk. I'm Philk. I don't want
I
to
don't
be
want to
Philk.
be Philk.
No, you don't understand. 555 Philk is nothing. 555 Film is movie phone. So I'm Philk. You're Philk.
I'm Philk.
You're Philk.
I don't want to be.
Hello, and thank you for calling.
Movie phone.
What was that one where he's like, if you want to see Agent Zero, press 1. And he
That's
goes,
what-
then he
you
goes,
selected Agent Zero.
then he goes, we gotta get to the chopper. Agent Zero, based on a true story. If you want to see Brown Eyed Girl, press 2. Then he's like, why don't you just tell me what you want to see?
Oh man, Seinfeld, love it.
All right.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So 100 questions. Question to the group is, who is the most famous person that you ever met? You guys think about that. I'm gonna
Okay.
Cory's going to be a hockey player.
No, clarifying question.
hockey players. Yeah, go ahead.
Did they had to be famous at the time and still currently famous, or their careers kind of faded off?
You know, I would say
Famous is household name ish, right?
if you say their name and none of the rest of us know who the fuck you're talking about, they probably wouldn't qualify, because that would mean that they're not currently famous, nor were they ever famous.
Okay.
I mean, if they weren't famous when you met them, but then they became famous, we would know their name.
Yeah, I guess in a sense, but okay. All right, that was my
I mean, I think that's
question.
fair.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
If they weren't famous and then they became famous and no one still knows who they are, then they probably didn't.
Well,
Well,
no,
D
but
less.
I'm saying like people's careers kind of dwindle over the years, and
But that would still mean that at one point they were famous.
yeah,
Famous.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we would know
exactly.
them. Yeah.
That doesn't make him not famous.
I really kind of want to hear Todd's answer, because I have like 3 different celebrities that I'm thinking you're going to pick one of them, and I'm really curious to figure out which one it is. But we don't have to start with you. If someone else wants to go first, that's fine.
Well, I can go first.
You got it.
Nobody.
You've never met anybody famous?
No.
Not a single person.
You met Todd Dillon.
No.
wow, there it is.
I didn't see that coming, but I should have.
No, not that I know of.
Not that
You've
you know
met
of.
Todd Dillon.
Come on, man. Get a hold of yourself, Todd.
Yeah, you might need to be gripped.
In,
Todd.
in Michigan, Todd Dillon is famous.
That is true.
I'm sure this would be one of those things my dad would be like, well, what are you talking about? You met...
If he knows anything about sports, he knows Todd Dillon, damn it.
I've never met him.
Would your dad say that you met somebody famous that you just forgotten?
Probably.
You didn't realize was famous?
Probably.
Okay.
But no, I don't think I have.
Cory, this is tough, man, because I don't want to play into Nick's comment now, so it's going to be some hockey player. But I guess if it really came down to it, that probably would be. It was a handful of the Red Wings: Cicerelli, McCarty, Draper,
Daryl Strawberry.
Yes.
I love that you know Daryl Strawberry's name,
Yeah.
and I'm really curious as to where you learned it, because it wasn't from watching a baseball game.
No. I always heard it here and there, but then it was one of the points that I could actually understand and laugh at during Frasier when they were referencing sports, because he's like, Dad, give me a sports player, and he's like, come on, Frasier, I don't want to do this, and he's like,
What?
what?
Okay.
What's happening?
Look at the screen.
Lori's terrible comments.
Yeah, that's an awful comment. Come on, Lori. I am. Yeah.
Cringeworthy.
First of all, no one on this podcast is more famous than TD. Yeah. You're gonna meet him in a couple of weeks.
He's like, come on, Dad. He's like, give me the name of a sports player. And he's like, Fraser, I don't want to do that. He's like, seriously. He's like, all right, Darryl Strawberry. He's like, no, a real one. I'm like, yes.
I feel like. So Todd,
Yes.
Was Darryl Strawberry famous for referring to himself in the third person during interviews?
No, he was famous for cocaine.
Gotcha. Okay. My bad. It should have been a clarifying question.
Along the same line.
You're thinking of Cecil Fielder.
No. Who am I thinking of, Todd?
Terry. No.
Lou Whitaker.
No. Hold. Terry Armstrong.
Terry. No.
Something.
Terry Crews.
No. Something Armstrong gonna do with Terry. Was it Terry Armstrong? He's like the office linebacker.
Oh,
that's Terry Tate.
Terry Tate.
Pepper Johnson.
Terry Armstrong gonna do what Terry Armstrong gonna do. But you're Terry Armstrong.
Todd, are you thinking of Pepper Johnson?
It could have been Pepper.
Pep Johnson.
Oh, Pep. G-Man. Look at that. He knew a sports person.
Sugar Ray Leonard?
Look at that.
Leonard. I thought you said letter.
No.
Holy cow, that's another. You just reminded me of another famous person I've met.
Oh, there's another one?
I've met a couple of famous people in sports. I mean, I'm trying to think something more culturally relevant, but I guess just larger than sports. But I've actually had the opportunity to meet several sports names. So is it my turn yet? Should I just go?
Yeah, it is now. Yes.
Yeah, now it is.
So I've had the fortune of meeting several famous people, but because I have a great story about it. Paul Molitor, baseball Hall of Famer, played for the Milwaukee Brewers, is one of the most famous people if you know anything about baseball around, because he's a Hall of Famer, and I've met him twice, and I have a great story.
Okay.
Go ahead,
you guys.
No, go ahead.
So when I was a child, my grandmother was a huge baseball fan. Was born and raised in Milwaukee. She had season tickets, and so the first baseball game I ever went to was with my grandmother. She takes me to a Brewers game. She knows all the players there. There's Robin Yount and Paul Molitor and Cecil Cooper, not Cecil Fielder. But that's the team, and so my grandma runs me down to the edge of the ballpark and says, "Hey, ask him for a baseball." And I'm like, "Mr. Molitor, could you throw me can I have your ball?" And he goes, and he's playing catch, and he looks at it, he goes, "I'm using it, kid." And he freaking continues to play catch, and I don't get a ball. This is a true story.
He totally blew you off, huh?
True story. Didn't give me the ball, and I hated that motherfucker for my entire adult life. And this is again,
this day.
No. So here's the thing. So fast forward 40 plus years. Maybe not 40 years, but at least 35 plus years. I'm working at a company called EMC. At EMC World, we often hired professional entertainers and athletes to give motivational speeches during this convention. And one year we actually had a convention where all the celebrities on the floor were ex Major League Baseball players. Dennis Eckersley, Paul Molitor's there, several people. And I have actually picture proof. I'll have to get it together and bring it to Detroit so I can prove this story is true. But anyway, I run into Paul Molitor as a full-grown adult, way bigger than Paul Molitor is as an old man now. And I actually tell him the story about how he blew me off when I was a kid. And I was like, and I have Asha Spellicard actually has pictures of me pointing at him like I'm going to poke him in the chest. And I'm like giving him shit about it. And anyway, I confronted him and he's like, I can't believe I did that. And I got Paul Molitor to apologize to me as an adult. And he offered me a ball that he would sign. And I told him, no, thank you.
Wow.
So, okay. All right. Well, hang on here. Hey, let's.
I do have one, but lesser known, and it is sports.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Jeff Kaiser played for the Detroit Tigers, back in
He
the
did?
There you
90s. Back in the 90s, he was a cousin of a woman that my dad worked with, and he was playing, and let's go down and talk to Jeff. I'm like, who? He said, let's go. So we went down to the dugout, and he came running over, and we talked to him for a while, and he took one of the game balls and signed it and handed it over to me.
Wow.
And
So he graduated from Southgate Aquinas High School and played baseball at Western Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He pitched parts of 7 seasons in the majors for 5 teams between 85 and 93.
Yep, still have the ball. It's under plastic. Am I wrong?
He played for the A's, the Indians, and then in 1991 he played for the Tigers. 93 he played for the Reds, and 90 then he got traded to the Mets, and then 93 was it.
That's famous.
Yeah, that definitely qualifies. I think I've already told the story of the. I think for me it was Carly Simon. I think I told the story already in the podcast.
Bob, you're so vain.
I don't recall it.
I to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever even heard any of this story.
No.
I think I have.
Todd-
You told on the podcast.
I did. So
Really?
real quickly, I got hired into EMC in 2000. It was maybe 6 months before Todd did. And both Todd and I, to get hired in, we had to interview with our boss's boss. So it was Dave. Help me out, man. I'm forgetting his last
Bartula.
name. No.
Bartula.
Bartula, yes, but he was in New York. He was an ex-bartender.
Oh, Dave Powell. Dave Powell.
Powell.
Yeah, I still keep in touch with him. I just talked to him a couple months ago.
Oh, man. Please tell him I said hi.
We'll do.
You talked to him a couple months ago.
Yeah, he's not talking to him now.
Now that he's lining up a conference call with him.
So yeah, I interviewed with Fletch. I interviewed with Dave Bartula, and the last interview was you got to interview with Dave Powell because he's kind of running the whole program. So he's out in New York. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna get you a ticket. So they bought me a ticket. It was a Monday morning 6 a.m. flight to LaGuardia. I had to go to New York. Took a cab from the airport, dropped me off right down on right by Times Square, right in front of Madison Square Garden, which is right across the street from the office. And I had 35 minutes to kill before my interview. So I walked up to the steps to what was a back door to Madison Square Garden, kind of looking. I was probably 25 feet above street level, just kind of looking up and down. I'd never been in New York before. I've been in New York for approximately 20 minutes. And I was standing there, and the door opened up behind me, and out comes Carly Simon and her whole entourage. They had been early morning tour of the stadium. She was going to play there or something. And it's just me standing on this huge expanse of concrete in the back of Madison Square Garden. And there she is. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Carly Simon. She's like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I love your stuff. Is there any way I can get an autograph? She's like, yeah, no problem. So I reached in my bag, and the only thing that I had was my plane ticket. So I said, can you sign my ticket? I literally just got here. I've never been in New York before. I just flew here. She's like, yeah, no problem. And she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, I don't know if I have a pen. And she goes, and somebody puts a pen in her hand, and she's like, signs it, gives it to me, and then they walk away. And I still have 34 minutes left before my interview, and I just standing there with nothing to do.
Did you feel slightly embarrassed, like Meteor? Would you say that your scarlet was apricot?
I don't know what that means.
It's in the song.
I'm glad that you know all the words to that song.
He met her, and he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't memorize her songs. Please don't ever tell her that I said that. As far as she's concerned,
Emailing her right now.
I know all of the words.
I won't.
To You're So Vain. So, yeah, 34 minutes later, I went and had the interview, which lasted for the time it took us to come down the elevator, back down to the street, walk and get a coffee, come back up, go up to the floor, and he said thanks, and then left. And so and then I got in a cab and I went back. So I was in New York for approximately 17 minutes, and then went back to the airport and flew back home.
I thought when you met Carly Simon, you had been in New York for 20 minutes.
Yeah, like I said, earlier in the podcast. If
And
you
then you
recall.
went through a whole
My math is-
interview?
my math is horrible.
The
You went
story's
through a whole
meandering.
interview and you lost time?
Yeah. I time traveled back.
I do recall this story.
If you've
now
ever
that
met Carly Simon, you'll know she.
has the ability to make people time travel.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes
I
sense.
feel like this is well known. I don't know why
Okay.
you don't know this. So yeah, she's probably the most famous person I've ever met,
You said
apart from Todd Dillon.
you said you went and grabbed a coffee?
Not with her, with the guy I was interviewing with.
Were there clouds in your coffee?
No, there were no clouds in my coffee. All right, I nothing else I could say.
I thought there was more to the Carly Simon
No, that was
story.
it. That was it. Like I said, it was really, really short.
Well, yeah, that was very short.
All right, let's
It keeps getting shorter.
time travel.
Yeah.
Let's,
We've got to go back to New York to the future.
let's finish this up with pick of the week.
Great Scott.
All right. For pick of the week, I'm going to go with what I mistakenly thought my pick of the week was last week, but it actually is this week, which is Tune Find. So if you just Google Tune Find, it'll take you to tunefind.com. And if you're looking for any kind of music that was ever in a TV show like Ozark or like Mr. In Between or like Breaking Bad, and you heard a song that you like, and you're too lazy to stick around the credits to figure out who it was, or they don't put it in the credits, you can hit tunefind.com and search by the show or by the movie or by the video game, and it'll tell you which songs were in that, which episode it was in, and at what minute mark it came, and then you can look it up on Apple Music or Spotify or wherever else you want. That's my pick.
Always with the music with this one.
I love it.
Who among us has not watched an episode of Ozark and been like, ooh, that's a fucking good song. I wonder what song that was.
Exactly.
Go fuck yourself, Nick. You know you did. Especially with Breaking Bad, I know that you had to. There was some country, there was some old time country music in Breaking Bad.
Maybe. Your odds are better with Breaking Bad. But
Yeah.
I would say in Ozark, the storyline captured me so much. I haven't even really heard any of the actual like music in it.
Cory, he owns a strip club. Every time they walk in the strip club, there's a banging song playing.
yeah, the
there's
one
other
the one
stuff to look at,
the
so.
one episode they had a different at the strip club. One of the episodes they had a different rendition of "Coming Around the Mountain," and I had to look that up.
Really? Okay. Huh? Sounds about right.
So tunefind.com. That's my pick. Todd, you got a pick for the
Yes.
week?
Pick of the week. Again, I'm going back to my cooking theme because I ran out of this season salt that they make, and it almost tipped me over. But Penzeys, Penzeys, Penzeys for all your spice needs. If you really want to kick your cooking game up a notch, you want to go over to Penzeys and take a look at what they got, man. They got like if you like onion powder, you can get toasted onion powder. You can kick up your cooking game.
You're not Penzi material, Todd.
Clarifying question, Todd.
Yes.
I feel like every time you've talked about a spice, you've used the phrase "for all your cooking needs." Go to this site.
Yeah.
So every single one of these will solve all your cooking needs.
I didn't hear you. I guess I keep getting bumped out of the switcher. But
the swoocher.
So every time that you've recommended a spice, and I feel like this is at least the third spice, I've heard you say, like, for all your cooking needs, this is who you need to go to.
Yeah.
Todd, I'm with you on the culinary topics, so I think that's awesome.
I'm misunderstanding what Bob's concerned about too. It's like, because it is for all your needs. At the end of the day, every day you want something new.
Hold on. So I don't want to cut you off, but I have to, because I was literally, my point was going to be, if you want to find a Toddism or really a Schnozcastism that we need to cut out, at this point it needs to be at the end of the day. Cory, Todd has said at the end of the day 7 times on this episode. Cory said it at least once, and I am also famous for that Mike says all the time, and I heard Todd say it a couple times, and I'm like, wow, yeah, maybe I should stop that too, so here's the thing. And at the end of the day,
So here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you.
Hey, yeah, so here's the thing. At the end of the day,
I love it.
I feel like if you delved into the stats of the episode and you asked our audience, they would probably say, I'm okay with all that if you guys would just stop saying the word
I don't recall ever saying But I know you're very self-conscious because you're like,
Yeah.
Oh, this whole episode, all I did was I said
Yeah, because I'm the only one who listens back to it again after we record it, and we all say it way too much. In my
Even
mind,
I say
I
never said
or you could. They're pretty interchangeable.
I may have said it talking about the pretzels.
Eh.
Well, that's oots. I thought, never mind. I thought it was
Yeah.
Todd, we got a shot here, buddy.
At the end of the day, isn't that what really matters?
Stop it.
At the end of the day, I got one more.
Well,
I'm a big fan of At the End of the Day.
Yeah, but you know what?
It really
We're never going to get to the end of that
essence.
day if we keep saying that phrase.
I flip flopped though. I said literally at the end of everything.
Oh,
for like
I say literally way too often.
literally.
I say it way too. It's something that I have to work on.
I had a boss at Todd.
Oh.
I had a boss at EMC.
Jesus Christ.
I had a boss at EMC who would use the word literally in every other sentence,
Hey,
especially during presentations.
let's
To
literally
customers.
take the shot.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yep.
Literally.
See, that's the problem with the Nick brain is I not only notice the little quirks which is why I can somewhat do impressions, but all those isms that people have, I pick up on, and it's a curse. Because normal people just move along and they're like, oh, who cares? And I'm like, at the end of the day. So here's the thing. Then I'm like, I can't think of anything else.
How have you never said anything to me about saying a lot?
Because is just a word that joins a train of thought. You know, it's not
filler.
It's not something that if it was something completely abnormal.
I said it doesn't
Natural.
Like if you were like,
right word.
like
Thank you, Todd.
if at any time that you were thinking, you were like, and you just made this weird whistle,
But in
I'd be
my
like,
head,
fucking stop it, Bob.
It's that annoying. In my head, it's that annoying.
when you go back and re-listen, but in the moment, doesn't really stand out like that, as opposed to someone saying, "Oh, at the end of the day," or literally. Someone using it as a filler, going. Just,
I'm gonna treat it cool filler though, like when my underwear dry.
I think you should.
I'm gonna train something different. Yes.
Todd,
Maybe not that specific one, but
Your
something like
underwear
that
drawer.
one.
by next week. I
No,
expect you to.
when my underwear dry.
Oh, I thought you said my underwear drawer. I'm like,
At the beginning of the morning.
At the beginning of the morning.
yeah.
When the sun comes up, I think we can all agree.
There was an episode of Frasier. Daphne came walking out. She was holding a ring, and the dad, Martin, was dating this new woman, and his ex-wife had died a long time ago, and he's never really gotten serious. So she came out. She's like, "Oh, I'm not sure what's going on, but I found this ring in your father's underwear drawer." And Niall's like, "Well, oh my God, why? Who do you think it's for?" She's like, "I don't know." And Frasier's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "I found a ring in your father's underwear drawer." And he's like, "What on earth would leave a ring in his underwear drawer?" She's like, "Not in." Or not around, in. He's like, "Oh." I'm like, "Oh."
I think to the list where you can find at the end of the day and literally, you should add
Frasier quotes.
like I saw on Frasier.
Seinfeld Frasier quotes. Well, the end of the day is don't cause people to laugh.
As Frasier once said.
Oh, I don't know.
In
This is a
Frasier's name, amen.
Yeah, no,
I have suggested this before that
Quite frankly.
I think that our audience should play a drinking game, and they should assign shots or full beers for those times where we say at the end of the day, or when Nick tells a Frasier story.
There'd be 4 lonely people drinking somewhere.
Right. But that's a draw for it's a Saturday night.
like
Right?
like dude in Lost.
Yes.
From
Absolutely.
Hurley.
Bitches. Oh, I say bitches a lot each episode
You
because
do?
you guys are a bunch of bitches.
No, you're thinking of you drink every time they say bitches and Friday every time you watch it.
That's true too.
I was like, that's my shit.
You've seen that? I can't assign it to you.
Oh, this has come up before.
No, actually, I've bits and pieces, but I've never seen it.
But he's seen enough to quote it and make that reference to Todd Dillon, which is saying a lot.
You just don't know.
Todd's like, I was going to say something back, but
Stuff for that ass.
Nick talking about Friday. So.
Exactly. I know. I'm like,
good.
wow, I gotta
Everything's good.
scratch that off.
Well, he's all giddy with excitement. He's like, oh, Friday.
I know what I'm
He's
doing
like
tonight.
a woman who just got asked out to dinner. He's like, oh, I don't know, maybe I don't think I'm available.
I was gonna sign in barbershop.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
well, now you can, or next Friday.
Exactly.
Or Friday after next.
Oh, my God.
Friday after
Please.
next. Exactly.
Please.
Did I
No,
misquote
please
that,
don't.
or is there a next Friday and a Friday after next?
Friday.
There's-
Exactly.
there-
Yeah.
They're both.
They're both
The
true,
next
yeah.
Friday at TGI Fridays.
That is not true.
It should be. So sorry. Who has not done a pick yet? Cory, have you done your pick?
Oh, no, I've not. My pick is the Senda Bluetooth keyboard from Amazon.
Spell that.
SEENDA.
That's what I thought you would say.
Oh, there you go.
I guess it's spelled like it sounds.
Best part about this keyboard, you can hook it up to a PC, laptop, whatever you want to, your station that you have, your PC setup you have. But you can also connect it to 2 other Bluetooth devices. Let me go back on that. It comes with the 2.4 gigahertz dongle that you plug into your PC.
Dongle.
That's the name of it. Sorry.
It's an unfortunate.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
That's just that. I didn't name it that.
It's an unfortunate name. But yeah, we're all familiar.
As long as you're familiar.
Yep. Keep going.
So you plug that in. That will
So
control.
you jack in your dongle.
Jack in your dongle.
All right.
And you can control your PC or laptop off that.
Yeah.
Off the dongle.
Yeah.
Best part
The
is though,
jacked in dongle.
you can also connect it to 2 Bluetooth devices. So like if you want to connect your phone and have like your messages up or anything like that, you can also connect it to your phone or an iPad or anything along those lines. But the greatest part, simultaneously, you can do all 3.
Do you have that
That sounds like trouble.
Well, because the
how do you know which device you're typing on?
Exactly.
The awesome part being is they included 3 keys on the keyboard that you can connect between all 3 different devices, and there's an indicator light on it that shows you which one you're connected to. So
apart from the regular QWERTY keyboard, you've got specific keys mapped to each Bluetooth device that you connect to.
there's 3 little keys on the top of the keyboard.
That are just for that.
One is just for the dongle, and then there's 2 little Bluetooth signs next to it.
Okay.
That you hit that if like you want to go over to your phone and start typing on your phone.
Right.
What do you hit?
The Bluetooth,
The key.
Oh, you didn't hit your
Does the dongle light up?
No, the dongle's in the rear of the computer. So
Isn't that always just the case?
So when you jack your dongle in the rear,
You got to put the dongle goes right in the rear.
Yeah.
The tip turns red.
does
Sometimes
the dongle glow when it's jacked in the rear?
only if it's a tight fit.
Okay.
I thought the dongle turned red. You said there was a light on it.
Only if it's tight fit.
So a tight-fitting rear jacked dongle that glows, that's what you want.
That ideally that's what you're looking for.
That's what everyone
Gotcha.
wants.
If it's
Exactly.
loose and there's stuff coming out around the dongle,
Oh, yeah.
then you don't. Yeah,
you can't have that leakage around your
Then you take it out of your ass and
rear
you put it
jacked
in your computer.
dongle.
You probably want to send that back.
You guys are bad.
Oh my god!
I hope Mary is listening to this episode.
She is. She's gonna be
I hope
mad.
no one is listening to this episode. I hope everyone fell asleep a long time ago.
Remember, at the beginning of the morning, we're doing this for
Stop
our own
it.
enjoyment.
Stop it.
For our own
You
enjoyment
can't
alone.
find a workaround.
I
Yeah,
just
he's
did.
trying to implant it right now already.
Yeah. beginning of the morning. Give me a fucking break.
I'm trying to implant the idea that a rear-jacked dongle with a tight fit and a red glow is an
By
ideal situation.
midday, your point's been made.
At the start of the morning. Let's face
By
it.
the time I've finished lunch,
Let's
I
face
think
it.
we can all agree.
Let's face it. At the start of the morning.
I'm counting on Todd to introduce a new phrase that will catch fire and then immediately
Extinguish itself.
And die out immediately.
Nick will flag it immediately as something that we should stop.
I'll be working on
I
that.
give you like 3 episodes.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, you're giving me 3. I said next week by the end. of
No,
this week.
no.
Okay.
No, it's going to take time to grab on.
Oh, come on, Todd.
So my
Like
pick of the
robot-
week.
Like robots.
Just getting ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's hard enough. I gotta shut the laptop lid,
All
make sure
right,
I didn't
everybody.
spill a drink, and no, I got it.
Yeah, so it was going to be this one, and I just want Cory to pronounce, but it's not going to be this one, but I just want Cory to pronounce
Is
it.
there a dongle in the word?
The Shui?
Do you understand that his mouth did like a Homer Simpson? Like, it went out like it went, shwee.
Marge.
It like these pursed lips when he did this. So, Bob, it's SHSYUE.
What?
SHSYUE. Shasayu.
Shy.
What is it?
Incensio de Santa Fe for balsam. Oh, not that one. The second one?
The one that says SHSYUE.
The one he spelled out.
Je suis.
Shy.
Okay, but that's not it. So, so my pick of the week.
Was I close?
I don't know.
So how can you say it's
Well,
not
maybe
it?
Cory was close.
Chris, sweet.
Maybe he was close, though.
Perhaps.
How do you? If you don't know how to pronounce it, you can't say who's wrong.
It's,
Yeah, I
it
think I
seemed,
would defer to Cory on this one.
It seemed like perhaps it had derived from the Pacific Rim, and that maybe there's some undertone of Asian influence. And shui, I don't think, falls into that
I
category.
mean, at the end of the day, if that's what you're going to say.
Stop it.
Okay, so then Shui.
I don't know, okay. So anyhow, so my pick is not that.
That's not that
That's
one.
what I
Oh,
told
my
him at the
goodness.
beginning. I said it's
I'm
not going to be this.
confused.
Okay.
I wanted him to read this.
Okay.
But he doesn't even. He said it right.
So my pick is Polivar.
Oh, wow. That can't be it. I'm sure that's mispronounced.
Polivar. Polivar.
Polivar.
Whatever. Or it could be Polivar.
Yeah. Maybe.
Polivar French press.
I don't know, man.
French press coffee maker.
Oh, is that the one you bought?
That's the one I bought.
Okay.
Oh, that's the Paulina.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on. You bought 3 things, right? You bought a hand grinder, you bought the French
Correct.
press, and the electric kettle.
Yep.
Have you used them all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're kind of a package deal.
So that's going to give you a pick of the week for like the next 3 weeks, which I'm fine with.
Oh, you spoiled it, so thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
That's fine.
No, but so this Polivar,
I
super
call it Paulina.
super cool. Comes in 2 different colors. Comes in black, and it comes in like the camp mug speckled, like metal, like the old
The enamel.
the old
Yeah,
enameled camp mugs, that are metal, So it's like that in gray with like black and white speckles on it, but it's cool because it has like a hand sanded oak handle on the side, and the top is oak, and it's really nice, and but it does a fantastic job. So $33 and 3,000 5-star reviews. Amazon.
All right.
Yep. I wanted to go against the grain on a French press. I'd never had one before, but everyone's got the black and glass ones, so I'm like, this is different. It's all metal.
Oh, yeah. You shouldn't. I mean, you're going by reviews, right?
What's that?
That's a big factor for you is the number of 5-star reviews that
Oh,
it
yeah.
gets,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, as long as you feel good. So, you've used it.
Yep.
Easy to use, easy to clean.
Amazing.
With the French press thing, the big thing is like how tough is it to clean this fucking thing when I'm done with making a pot of coffee?
So when I'm done, I throw a little water in it, and
Yeah.
because of the experience of taking apart my pipes from Cory's chew spit down there, I'm like,
sorry, man, I didn't know.
I'm like, no. I'm
Okay.
like, you know what? Coffee grounds are probably kind of equate
Same
to the same thing. Yeah. So
Sure.
these are not going down the drain. I have to drink my own Kool-Aid here. So it goes outside.
Yeah.
And probably put a couple inches of water in, 1, 2, 3 on the top, like 3 different pushes, and there's a couple grounds, and it's clean. It's done. It's ready to go. Now, I hand wash it as well, but like if it's only like, oh, I just used it once yesterday, then it's just coffee, and it's no big deal. I'm not putting my mouth on it or anything like that. So
you are drinking the coffee that comes out of it, though.
In a mug. I'm not.
Well, it's come from out of it into the mug, which then goes into your mouth.
I'm pouring the coffee into the mug.
Right.
Right. I'm not putting my mouth on the French press. So.
No, I'm with Nick. I don't know what you were thinking of, like how he was trying to explain that.
I feel like he was. My impression was that he was doing he was like doing a passable cleaning job because he wasn't putting his mouth on it. When my point was that whatever's in there is going directly into the mug, which is then going directly into his mouth anyway. So he might as well be putting his mouth.
But
on
when I use it, and literally coffee is just an outside agent infused to water.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I'm pouring water into something.
Yeah.
And then I'm instantly rinsing it. I'm not as concerned with scrubbing that with soap every day that I would be like my mug that I'm putting my lips on in the morning. You know what I mean?
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Remind me when we're there to show him one of my favorite college pranks.
You got it.
Thank you.
Okay. Done.
So, yeah, that's the reasoning behind it.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, it cleans up very well.
So if we go up to your cabin next...
How many
not next
coffee
week,
makers can we bring up to the cabin?
2 weekends from now, right? Are you going to bring your French press?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And, of course,
Awesome.
I had to get the electric kettle, like I was telling Bob, that has, like, 75 blue LEDs in the bottom. So it illuminates the water bright blue, like, while it's bubbling and stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know how fast normal electric kettles work these days, but this is, like, almost instantly. Like, I know Mike has one, and it takes a good 7 minutes or so.
No, he's got an old one.
Yeah, and this I press it, and it
shouldn't take 7 minutes.
And within like 60 seconds, it's bubbling. It's like,
I would say, it's going to indicate right on the handle, right, when it's hit the temperature that you want, which I assume is probably 212.
This doesn't have any kind of else. This doesn't
very specific.
It doesn't have an LCD.
Water boils.
It doesn't have an LCD on it, but it's glass, so you can see boiling water in the inside.
Yeah, but I get where you're going. I think, if his is taking 7 minutes to boil that as an electric kettle, then you're kind of defeating the purpose. I could, probably get a regular kettle and get close to that and get maybe like 9 or 10.
Right.
Yeah, your electric kettle should be, I don't know if it's 60 seconds, but it's definitely like a minute or two.
Not to mention I'm taking that big Brita filter out of the fridge.
Yeah.
And so it's
cold.
It's
when it
like
hits
40-degree water.
Yeah.
And it's going in, and then within about 40 seconds, it's bubbling and boiling. So I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. You have a brand new electric kettle, so I wonder if over time that the time that it takes to boil will decrease with use or wear.
At its apex, this all makes sense.
It can't be said any clearer than that, Todd. So, for Schnozcast, that is episode 135. Thanks for joining us. Please join Nick and Cory and Todd next week when they will be doing a three-man show for episode 136. And in the meantime, have a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves and take care of each other.